the video in here, and then I'll pop that
Yeah,
out, and then
yeah.
I'll stream that so we can be at the same time. Okay. We'll pop this out. I don't think I've ever seen a video from this guy.
You're lucky.
Has he done Insomniac critiques before?
He just hates on Sony in general, and he pretty much hates every fucking video game.
Oh,
He's a fucking goofball.
I see.
Ah, there you are.
He's like really fucking like. I think he's very I think he's very obviously like racist. He said Tears of the.
No.
He said Tears of the Kingdom is like some antichrist devil propaganda or some shit. I'm like, dude, what are you like? Shut up.
Okay.
He's just one of those.
But apparently there was a good old days.
A what?
Like it seems like a good old days. He's saying, remember when they were good? So I guess they were less satanic.
Yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day?
Maybe Spider-Man 2, the movie game, was less satanic.
That was a Christian. That was Passion of the Christ.
They didn't design the church well enough in that mission in Spider-Man 2.
Make sure this is cranked loud enough.
Remember when superhero games were good? Is that 113,000? Oh wow, that is.
Yeah, hate baiting is strong. It might
Yeah,
be the strongest form of content creation there is, to be honest.
Brings in the money, but it makes you look like an idiot, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby Crisis. I told Colin I won't be here too long because my friend is kind of going through something, but
yeah, all right. So what all right, so you know
I wish your buddy well. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
What's it called? Infamous. All right, so I'll just watch the intro part and then I'll skip to the Infamous part before you leave, and then I'll go back.
He only did 1 and 2. Wow. I can already tell this is gonna be good. Give Second Son credit. Oh my god.
Yeah, Second Son is like the black sheep. I've noticed.
Yeah, it's like the Origins.
It is.
Except the Origins
Well, I mean,
better.
You're gonna get English teachers telling you in your DMs, people are disliking the video, Colin. I think Arthur Thou needs to talk to
the Shakespearean English teacher, maybe. All right, I'm starting this dumb shit. You can see it, or it's all good, Crisis, for your stream.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Really quick heads up before we begin, this video was supposed to come out last week, so no, it is not in fact about the new Spider-Man 2 game, though don't worry if you want to hear my thoughts on it. I'm absolutely going to work on a longer review,
don't.
but because I'm behind schedule, it's probably not going to be out this week. Instead, this video is just reminiscing about all the good superhero games we got over the last 20 years, and of course talking about the decline from around 2016 to now. And as it turns out, Spider-Man 2 turned out to be yet another Sony cinematic slop game full of woke propaganda.
Full of woke propaganda. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
One of these
This
guys.
will tide you over until the review is done. Now on to the video. Remember when superhero games were good?
Yeah, I
These
just remember, like about a week ago, I just played a really great one.
Plays a clip of him getting ragdolled and killed.
It's incredibly easy to make fun of.
To be fair, this fucking mission in Spider-Man 2
it
is stupid as
the
fuck.
worst part of the game for sure.
Comic book fans, especially since it became the normie thing to enjoy superheroes ever since the explosive popularity of the MCU and the general push to make geek culture socially acceptable to the average person instead of something that you would bully someone for liking. I'm not sure if I've said this before on this channel, in case I haven't. When I was going through high school is right around when video games became mainstream. I remember around 9th grade, everyone started talking about Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. People who I'd never heard mentioning video games before. And the same exact thing happened to superheroes, again, when the MCU started getting popular. And so you would think after making billions of dollars, having this massive new genre take off, with copycats nowhere near the level of quality, no matter what DC fanboys might tell you, you would think we would have gotten a lot of really good video games around this time. But no, ironically, most of the greatest superhero games came out before the first Avengers movie even released in theaters.
Oh my
Now-
god, dude, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Like,
When did City come out?
actually,
When did Asylum come out?
You know what,
Asylum
we'll-
came out like 2008.
well, I know he's just like one of those people. The state of modern gaming, it's terrible. Why can't it be like the good old days? It's like
The culture war.
he
type
does
shit.
he does mention he does praise the Arkham games in this video, I imagine. So, I mean, I don't know what he does in these sections because I haven't watched I just kind of skimmed through it a little bit to see the games he mentions that he probably thinks is better than Spider-Man 2, the new one.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2's in the thumbnail, so I was expecting him to talk mostly about that.
Now, in
Yeah,
retrospect, this actually makes perfect sense because back then, the developers making superhero games genuinely cared about the property and doing it justice.
Oh, just like
Even
Insomniac?
movie tie-in games
that's
were
crazy.
higher quality back in the PS2
Yeah, they
time
clearly don't
than
care
the
about
PS3.
Spider-Man.
And by the time the PS4 rolled around, all this tie-in shovelware was basically dead anyway, and so we got even fewer superhero games. Now, despite what some of you might think of me, especially my haters, I do not think that every game that came out PS1, PS2 era was a hidden gem masterpiece and it was completely flawless back then. No, there was plenty of shovelware trash. But when I say older games are better, I'm never judging it by the worst games that release, I'm judging it by the best. And higher budget products were simply better 20 years ago. Let's talk about some of those great superhero games. Despite most of my videos having a negative slant, this one's gonna have a bit of positive and a bit of negative. Despite my retro reviews not doing so well views-wise, sometimes I do like to talk about
You guys
older
check out
games.
BatmanArkham.com.
And as I've mentioned a few times on my channel in the past, sometimes I'll play a game I've never played before that released back in that era, and what do you know? I enjoy myself more than I do almost any modern release. The best example of this is a game I just played, and the reason I made this video, as you could probably guess, Spider-Man 2. Growing up, I never owned this game. I only ever played it at a dentist office. Yes, I don't know if kids' dental offices still do this, but they used
Oh,
to
we
have...
started talking about Spider-Man. Oh, okay. The intro's over. Alright,
You said the intro's over.
I'll just go to the infamous part and then we'll go back.
Oh god. You don't have an ad blocker.
Ad blockers don't work anymore on YouTube.
No doubt. And to bring
That's
up
fine.
another game that released around the same time, Infamous. Now, I prefer the second game in almost every way, but both of them are great games. You play as Cole McGrath, who's got electric superpowers, and he truly actually is an anti-hero. He's pretty much a narcissist at the beginning of the first game, but you can choose between being good
objectively
or
wrong, but
evil.
okay.
And
Wait, what did you
That's
say?
that was objectively wrong. He's not an anti-hero. That's not how that works. How's oh my god. Oh, wait, a few seconds. Just keep playing it. He's not an anti-hero.
He's pretty much either one or the other. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Oh my god. He's an anti-hero, guys.
Isn't the good ending the canon ending?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
he
is.
he is canonically like saved the world, so I don't know how anti-hero that is.
You don't understand,
yeah,
it's for his own
binary
self-esteem.
good and evil choices were
Yeah, he
never
died
that
for choosing good
complex,
rules.
but again, it added replayability to the game. You pretty much had to play the game twice, not just so you could see the story changes, but so you could get the different powers. Now, the interesting thing about Infamous's gameplay that makes it different from all the other games I mentioned in this video is that it's essentially a reskin third-person shooter. And normally, I don't like third-person shooters, at least not cover-based third-person shooters, but they handled it in such a good way that it feels natural. Because instead of waiting for your health to regenerate, you could do that, or you could absorb some electricity from a light pole, which fuels your powers back and gives you health back. So the gameplay is constantly active. You're constantly zapping people, throwing electric grenades, rockets. In the second game, you can throw cars, and depending
Is
on
the
if
point
you're
that
good
all
or
these
evil,
games are better
you get
than
ice
Spider-Man 2?
powers or
Yeah, I'd
oily.
That's sort of
imagine.
the basis.
I'd imagine. I mean, apparently Spider-Man 2 is a woke Sony slogfest, so...
I mean, he's kind of a hypocrite though, because these are Sony exclusive games. Oh, and I forgot they're old, so therefore it's okay. My
Yeah.
bad. I forgot.
Yeah,
there's a
before the woke mob got the Sony.
The My virus infected them.
Have you seen Amazing Lucas's review for Spider-Man 2? I watched like 2 minutes of the bad part of it, and I was just like, yeah, he's just as stupid as he usually is. Clicked off of it. I might watch it on stream one of these days. I don't know.
Fire powers. And the game is just entertaining all the way through.
They're
It's a
napalm,
little
not
bit
fire.
slower than, say, Spider-Man, and it's a lot slower than Prototype or Hulk.
Wait, what did he say?
Slower than Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's talking about the movie game. Probably.
Say Spider-Man, and it's a lot slower than Prototype or Hulk, but it has some of the best
Yeah.
third-person shooting I've ever played in a game, because the superpowers inherently makes it a lot more interesting. And you can't talk about superhero games from this era with
So what makes
That's it?
Infamous
Wow.
so that's the reasoning for what makes Infamous so great and Spider-Man 2 bad. But yeah.
He didn't even mention that people loved the story. People tend to forget this. The reason why Second Son's a black sheep is that you had to move on to a different character. People loved Cole McGrath in the first 2 games. The fact that he didn't mention that, oh yeah, people really love the story, and even the traversal in the second game is much more improved. It's like there was so much more than just it's a fun third-person shooter. It's, oh my god, that was a nothing burger. Jesus Christ, I'd rather watch Zivaline's garbage Second Son videos. Actually, no, that's a lie.
I feel like
lied.
if you were to make, like, the thing that Infamous has that Spider-Man doesn't have is the choice, like, option, and he kind of brushed that over and misinterpreted it as Cole being an anti-hero, but yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, like he just brushed past that, like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, oh yeah, no one cares about that. It's like that was the main thing that was advertised for Infamous, was that you can choose to be good or evil, and
Yeah.
that's what made it stand out amongst other games out there that had superpowers. Was
Which is
wow,
another
I can make
reason
my character be good
why-
or evil.
It's another reason why Second Son is the black sheep, because it doesn't have as much, like, impact between its choices. Like, the
Yeah,
plot
the-
doesn't change, as drastically as the first 2 games.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, I mean, the first game never really changed drastically. It's just Cole's choices were more impactful. It was just like, wow, I really like. It was either, okay, kill this guy to get through the sewer, or tell him that his wife is dead. It's like, okay, these are very impactful and very messed up to do. Or even something as small as like, I'm gonna shoot this gas tank to hurt the enemy, or let it hit me so that way it doesn't kill those innocent civilians. It was more impactful. Second Son was just. Only 2 I could think of were impactful. Was either killing or sparing Hank, or sacrificing the tribe or sparing it. That's one time it was like, whoa, I feel kind of bad. Ugh. Oh well. I feel bad. Oh well. Back to killing.
All right. Well, that was
Wow.
kind of a fucking nothing burger. All right.
Yeah, that was. Well, I'm sorry. I was like, let's go get my Infamous glasses on. Let's go. This is garbage. This is nothing. Darn it. Oh well.
Yeah, Infamous is so great, but Spider-Man 2 just trash,
Spider-Man 2.
garbage.
Well, Spider-Man 2 better anyway. At least that's continuing on like Infamous. No, I can't disrespect Infamous like that. I still love that series. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back and talk to my friends. It was great. It was great talking to y'all. Y'all have a good night. All right.
All right.
Good luck to your friend, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. See you.
Despite my retro reviews not doing so well views-wise, sometimes I do like to talk about older games, and as I've mentioned a few
I wanna
times
hear
on my
why
channel in the
Use Spider-Man
past,
2 is better than,
sometimes I'll
I'm
play a
excited.
game I've never
I'm
played
waiting.
before that released back in that era, and what do you know? I enjoy myself more than I do almost any modern release. The best example of this is a game I just played, and the reason I made this video, as you could probably guess, Spider-Man 2. Growing up, I never owned this game. I only ever played it at a dentist office. Yes, I don't know if kids' dental offices still do this, but they used to have consoles encased in these big plastic things, and then you could play from whatever game
a
they
fire
currently
dentist
had
office.
inserted in the PS2, or sometimes
I think
they
there's
would
an
have a
N64
variety
at my
of
dentist's
demos
office.
to choose from, kind of like store
They
kiosks.
definitely did.
And that was the only time I ever got to play Spider-Man 2. So, as I finally sat down and played all the way through it on stream, I'll be honest, I love the game. It's a great game. It's not flawless, certainly. Actually, it has a lot of
This is
flaws,
a great game, but
the
Spider-Man
important
2
thing is
is-
the
is
game
PS5, Spider-Man
emphasized
2
fun
isn't.
before anything else. Now, is
The new one was
fun a
miserable, but this
buzz
one's
term and completely
hilarious and
subjective? Yeah, kinda. Obviously, what
engaging.
I enjoy is not what everyone else is going to enjoy in video games, but there certainly was a different design philosophy of older games that they don't really do anymore, which is prioritizing that the main gameplay loop is as fun as possible before doing anything else. Spider-Man 2 is a perfect example of this because just playing the game feels so satisfying, better than any movie tie-in game should ever feel. You've probably already seen a dozen channels by now talk about how good the web swinging is in that game. And yeah, I can attest to the fact that it's aged perfectly. It is absolutely better than the web swinging in Insomniac Spider-Man. It just is.
Whoa.
The physics
Wait, what did he just say?
To the fact that it's aged perfectly, it is absolutely better than the web swinging in Insomniac Spider-Man. It just is. The physics.
It just is. Yeah. My fucking dick and balls. I would love to hear his explanation as to why it's what. Maybe you could make the argument that it's better than Spider-Man PS4, but Spider-Man 2, it's not even fucking close.
Spider-Man 2 just has the original game's physics pretty much at this point with the swing assist.
Yeah, I mean the physics systems definitely are still a bit different from each other, but it's still generally just as challenging as, like, when you put it on zero swing assist, it's still generally just as challenging as this game. Not to mention,
can someone explain to me which game does not make the gameplay loop the focus of the game? Yeah, I don't. I'm pretty sure that's like the start is the loop. I mean, I know that the Insomniac guys have done like GDCs where they explain like getting the swinging down, and they spend the most time on that. It's pretty obvious.
Wait, which GDC? You're talking about the Insomniac one or the Spider-Man 2 movie game?
The Insomniac. Like, they talk about, like, yeah, we spent all this time iterating on the swinging and shit. Like, they clearly put a lot of care into the main meat of the game, which is swinging around and fighting people. I mean, also, like, recently, in the recent stuff, Brian Inter was talking about, like, the parry mechanic and how they did multiple iterations of that. Like, and even the boss fights, like, you can tell that they obviously care, because they were pretty lukewarm in the first game, and they're way better in this one. So I don't know. Especially in regards to the new game, I'm not sure how you could say they just don't care.
I mean, I'd still say, like, there's nothing gameplay-wise that Spider-Man 2 movie game does better than Insomniac's gameplay, so...
Yeah. No, I agree.
The level design is also way better in fucking Spider-Man 2. PS5. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, in my next video, I'll talk about how, like, this new Spider-Man 2 is, like, the fifth Spider-Man 2 game. Like, there's... starting in like the 80s, there's Spider-Man like 1 and 2.
Well, like,
and
I'm just wondering here, like, there isn't a single game that there isn't a single thing that this game does better than the PS5 version.
Voice acting.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god. More Josh Keaton in this game.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no Josh Keaton in the Spider-Man 2.
They should have had him voice Spider-Man instead of Midguire.
Oh, that would definitely have been a better performance, but it would not have been as funny. So.
Oh man, I'm late for Dr. Connor's class.
Oh my god, what am I gonna do?
MJ's gonna be so mad. I missed out on her play. Oh man. What do you think?
That's the voice I hear when I read the comics. He's bored with everything, doesn't care, wants to get out of the booth as quick as possible.
But let's all right. So, like, what's it called? Go back to this fucking bullshit. Like, even disregarding the story completely, the side missions in Spider-Man 2 PS5 are better. The level design is better. The boss fights are better. The combat is better. Even the fucking stealth, despite it being shit in Spider-Man 2 PS5, is better. The web swinging is better, has more variety, and it also has the physics system. So there's literally no argument you can make.
It's also like, I don't know, like considering like Spider-Man 2, the movie game it's always sort of cushioned with, okay, it's a movie. It's even he says it's way better than a movie game should be.
Yeah.
Because and we see with the plot is it has to adapt the movie to some extent, like mostly, and it's able to accomplish some other things like the Black Cat subplot and stuff like that, and fighting Rhino and shit like that. But generally, it does have that limitation. And then also, like, for the times, it definitely, I think, pound for pound is like, it is a great game, but there's really no comparison, and there doesn't have to be a comparison. Like, it's how many years later, and I don't know. And you can also tell in the new game that they looked at the old, like, they looked at pretty much, okay, what are the people's favorite Spider-Man games besides the first PS4 game? And they incorporated Web of Shadow elements. They incorporated Ultimate Spider-Man elements. They incorporated Spider-Man 2 elements.
I think they pretty much just take everything that didn't work in other like forms of media, even outside of games, and just literally made it work in their game. Like the Web of Shadows symbiote taking over the city. The Venom gameplay is definitely. I mean, like, actually, I don't know, but like from what I've seen, the Venom gameplay in Spider-Man 2 is better than it looked in Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more visceral. Venom and Ultimate Spider-Man was built to like have the open world traversal, whereas in 2 he's more or less, it's like Rhino in the first TASM game. Like it's like a roller coaster ride, less than like a fully fleshed out.
I mean, the fucking Rhino boss fight in this game sucks. Like, you don't do anything. You literally just press A a couple times, then punch, 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 press A, punch, 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 he's done. Like, it's so fucking shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. By modern standards, it's like, come on. Like, you're gonna compare that to like Lizard and or Craven, Craven in the new game?
How about the Black Cat chase sequences where you could literally be sniffing her fucking ass and the chase sequence will still be going on? Like, yeah, man, that's fucking real great.
Compare that to like flying after the drones in the new game,
or even literally any of the chase scenes in this game, like the multiverse, or I mean, not the multiverse. Thinking about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, like the Doctor Strange portal hopping, the Lizard chase scene, which literally you get 2 phases of a boss fight, a great chase scene, and then you get right back into the boss fight. Like, that shit is literally just fucking heat.
Yeah.
The sense of momentum, the skill. It actually takes skill to not swing into buildings in Spider-Man 2.
Just like PS5, right? Yeah, interesting.
You get used to it, but there's something about that flow, trying to keep up the maximum speed possible, that kind of reminds me of Sonic games. And I like Sonic. You know, I'm one of those people. I'm not going to pretend the games are amazing, but I like 3D Sonic games.
Yeah, man, that sense of momentum. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's show that sense of momentum. Because Spider-Man 2 PS5 definitely doesn't have that. Way better. Definitely not.
It's just better.
Let's see. I would love, since it doesn't take any skill, Synthetic Man should be able to hop on the game right now, first try, and just hop on and do this shit right away.
Well, didn't we see, you know, it's not necessarily swinging skill, but we all saw that guy get his ass beat by Craven in like 3 hits. He was like complaining about the design. There's some dude, it was trending on Twitter. He's got ragdolled like instantly. He was like, broken game. And it's like, nah, you just suck, bro. Like, clearly it requires skill. I was pulling this shit off in the first 10 minutes. No skill required.
Yeah.
This is instinct.
Yeah, unfortunately. These movie games just play themselves.
Sony opponent it again.
Yeah. This web swinging is too woke. But yeah, man, no skill. Nothing at all.
Reviewed Adventure 1 and 2, and I'll defend those games to death despite their many flaws, and Spider-Man 2 reminded me of that. Even the combat had a surprising amount of complexity to it. There were way more combat moves than a 6-hour game ever should have. This game was made with replayability in mind.
It doesn't have more combat moves than Spider-Man 2 does, so...
That's why I said it was like lukewarm this entire time, because it keeps going for a movie game, like... It's like, okay, I guess.
Like, I'm sorry, if you have to put for a movie game for every fucking sentence and praise you give this game, like, you shouldn't be fucking comparing it to a game that's a million times better. Like, that's just, like, actually dense.
Which is something that no modern game is made for. They don't give a shit.
Spider-Man 2's combat has more variety, way better enemy designs, and more variety. So there's literally no argument.
Play it over again from the beginning, because they know 90% of players will never do that. Almost every aspect of modern games is designed with the lowest common denominator player in mind, aka DSP. And so while you could certainly make the argument that the web swinging has more moves and is more
DSP
complex
probably sucks at
in
Spider-Man
Insomniac
2,
Spider-Man,
like,
and the combat
probably
is a
not
lot
even that.
less jank, and so you can more reliably get
What the fuck did...
web swinging has more. And so while you could certainly make the argument that the web swinging has more moves and is more complex in Insomniac Spider-Man, and the combat is a lot less jank, and so you can more reliably get better at the game, and it has that sort of like Arkham style combat.
Oh
where
my...
people get-
It's not like Arkham. You are actually fucking dumb. You are so smooth brain. They are literally
He touched the
night
nerve.
and... They're night and day. I am so sick of this. They are not
Arkham
this. They are
comparison.
literally not the same. This is so. Their combat systems are night and day. You are so fucking dumb.
very perfectionist about it. I could certainly see people saying that the 2018 Spider-Man is a better game than Spider-Man 2, but again, that nebulous sense of fun is far more important than any of that shit. And something that people may not realize.
What is first of all, what is any of that shit? And if it's a better game, it's a better game. Spider-Man PS4 is more fun. Sure, fun is subjective, but like there is literally every element of the gameplay, except maybe you could make the argument that Spider-Man 2 movie game is better swinging than PS4. Even still, they are right next to each other. It's like the only thing I could even think that Spider-Man 2 movie game does better is there's a bit more variety in terms of what you can do, and the physics system is more challenging. But still, like, Spider-Man PS4 definitely has its benefits, like the point launch, the camera, the fluidity of the movement. Like, it has its benefits. It's not like it's not like this game blows that swing system out of the water. Like, I'm just...
I also
How
like
is-
how he was like, he's like, yeah, you could make all these arguments for it being better, but that's all shit.
Yeah.
I like Spider-Man.
I'm sorry, but like, how does the game that has a better combat system, better overall gameplay, better boss fights, better level design, better side content, how is that game less fun than this game? Like, what are we talking about?
Is at the
The voice
time it
acting.
was so
Oh.
easy for a movie tie-in
You're
game
right.
to just
And
cover
Toby's
the
lenses
plot of the
move
film
in the cutscenes.
and add in some gimmicky mini games and call it a day. Well, Spider-Man 2 very naturally incorporated Mysterio, Shocker, and Black Cat into the game, and it feels like it
Forgot
totally
Rhino.
would have belonged
Guess he
in the
hates that
movie.
Rhino, though.
And Tobey Maguire actually reprises his role as Spider-Man, though his voice
Yeah, look at this
acting
peak boss
certainly
design.
needed work.
You punch him once.
Hey, it's Mysterio, the cliche who walks like a man.
So you could really feel the love that was
Damn.
poured into this game. It might just be the greatest movie tie-in game of all time. But Spider-Man 2 was far from the only good superhero game that released back in the PS2 era.
He
A
caught
good
that son of a
example
bitch.
is Hulk Ultimate Destruction, another game that I just played before making this video.
Oh
For
my
those of you who've
God.
played Prototype, this game will actually feel fairly
played
similar
this.
as it was made by the same developers. And this was probably one of the first superhero sandbox games that just let you
Have you played this one? Do you have
No,
anything?
we can skip this.
Have you played the Punisher game?
No.
Prototype.
I don't know how.
I've
it's
played
better.
I've played Prototype, but I mean, like,
He talked about it looked like
There's-
Ultimate Alliance and that other PS2 section.
I've played
there.
Prototype, but I barely remember that shit. I haven't played it since I was like literally a fucking crown muncher.
Yeah, it from what I know, I mean the story's worse and the gameplay is. I mean, I think it's probably like Web of Shadows. Definitely was inspired by Prototype. Like they have similar expressions of like the power fantasy
Mm-hmm.
that I could see. Like of course it's all subjective. Like you could probably feasibly enjoy just fucking shit up more than
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 2, the movie game, or not the fucking goddamn. Why couldn't they have just done a subtitle? But than the new Spider-Man 2. But it is like objectively more going on, objectively mechanically sounder, more variety, better bosses. I'm pretty sure in Prototype they're all pretty much just sponges,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a ridiculous
I mean,
difficulty spike in the game.
I wouldn't say sponges are necessarily a bad thing, depending on like how spongy they are. Because like if you do have a game with a lot of variety in the combat, it's not fun for the enemies to just die instantly. It's like you want to combo them.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess I mean spongy in the sense where a lot of the enemies in the new Spider-Man 2, 2023 for PS5 is that they are a lot more reactive to combos.
oh yeah, for
Whereas
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
no,
sure
like
in
the
Prototype, the most you can do is like knock them off the ground or something.
yeah, like 100% the enemies in like from what I remember of Prototype, the enemy design in that game is nowhere near even PS4 or Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Same with
I
the
agree.
Web of Shadows and Arkham. We already went over the Infamous. All right, Arkham.
And you
See
can't
how
talk about
Arkham is better
superhero
than
games from this
the
era
new
without
Spider-Man
covering
game.
the most critically acclaimed ones, that being Batman Arkham Asylum and City. Now, I haven't played these games since they released, but I remember Arkham Asylum fucking blowing my mind when it came out.
Haven't played the game
It's
since
probably the
release.
most faithful and most love put into a
So, like, since
superhero game that
2008?
I'd ever seen. I was never the biggest DC fan, but I have to admit, Batman is such a good rogues gallery that I was hooked the entire time.
Oh,
It
just like
had that
Spider-Man?
great Metroidvania level design to the whole thing.
The
Sounds like you
Metroid,
just read
the Metroid,
Wikipedia.
the great Metroidvania level design. First of all, the Metroidvania elements in Arkham Asylum are like bare. It's about as in depth as the RPG elements of God of War. Like there's the Metroidvania in Arkham Asylum is bare.
Yeah, it is it's mostly just a straight line with like a couple of misdirections, but to say that it's like, yeah, it's definitely not Metroidvania. You don't have to find, like, you don't have to think of, oh, should I go here, and find this different solution. It's pretty, kind of holds your hand. It's like, okay, time to go to the Batcave to get this new item. Time to go to the
Yeah, I mean, like,
Batmobile.
the game pretty much does tell you where you need to go. You're pretty much on track on where you need to go at all times. There's no real, like, oh, I'm lost here, what should I do? There's no, oh, I just gained this new ability, let me go back to this one place that was blocked off before, really.
Which isn't to say they're bad, obviously. It's just
Yeah.
he's misrepresenting them because he hasn't played them in 15 years, as he admits.
And I just remember pretty much loving it from beginning to end. Now, City, in many ways, was an upgrade, especially in the combat department, but I was never a big fan of Arkham Combat, and I didn't really like the mini sandbox, so even though a lot of people would
Too
say it's the
woke?
better game and arguably a masterpiece, I don't remember liking it as much, but it was still definitely a great game, had a great story. And to this day, you're still going to hear people talk about these games. I mean, they're pretty much in the Hall of Fame of video gaming. And
Yep, that's true, but why is it better than Spider-Man 2? Or Spider-Man PS4?
Because of the Metroidvania and because the combat system that he didn't really like
Yeah, forgot.
better.
Yeah, these are real sound points.
I see
this
some more
point.
Marvel games.
And I pretty much just scratched the surface here. There's the Darkness games, of which the second one I really liked. It's basically an FPS where you also have these shadowy tentacle guys coming out of your shoulders that can tear people to pieces. It's a really fun game. There's
I don't even
X-Men
trust this
Origins,
gay's
which is
takes
another
because
candidate for the best movie
if you haven't
tie-in
played the
game.
Arkham
It's
games
basically a
in
God
how
of War
long,
clone,
how recently has
but
he
it
played
was
the
really
Darkness
fun,
too?
actually. And of course, Crackdown, one of Xbox's old big exclusives. You're a secret
this
agent who
beloved
gets
Crackdown?
super
Yeah, wasn't this game, like, fucking shit on when it came out? Like, wasn't this, like, dog shit?
Yeah, it looks
powers.
pretty
Another
ass.
personal favorite of mine is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Oh, yeah, Shattered
game.
Dimensions is so much better than Spider-Man. Shut the fuck up. Like, oh my god, you are fucking dense.
Good game, but it's also very different. It's kind of apples to oranges. Like,
I don't think he's really comparing the two, but, like, dude. I mean, technically, I guess he's comparing the two, trying to say it's better, but, like, dude, no. Like, what the fuck does this game do better? Nothing. Or maybe art style. I'll give it art style. That's what it does better. What else?
It's cool. The whole helicarrier section with Carnage is cool.
Alright, moving on.
The first Spider-Man game I ever played,
God.
which was a linear beat 'em up where you played
This is
as
the best Spider-Man game you've ever played. Okay.
4 different versions of Spider-Man from different universes, and believe it or not, it actually
Very
inspired the
Arkham-like
Spider-Verse comics and later the 2 movies
No,
that have
no,
now released.
no,
And it
no,
legit
no.
had a pretty
No, 90s Spider-Man. Come on, bro.
He said it inspired the He said it inspired the comics. That's what he just said, right?
Yeah, and the movies, the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
It's a weird thing to like. Even the '90s show, like, there's a fucking Marvel's had a multiverse since forever. It's a weird thing to say it was inspired by anything, really. It's like, yeah, there are multiple Spider-Man. Like, what? Because the stories between the '90s, whatever two-parter, it's not really like the story of Shattered
Spider-Wars.
Dimensions. Yeah, and
They're not
it's
even
like-
they're literally night and day. Like story wise, I'd say the '90s show did it better. Honestly, story wise, like
the only way to say it's inspired is there's a multiverse of Spider-Man, but that's always been the case. So
that's like, I mean, yeah.
just weird. But he's wrong.
solid combat system. It took advantage of the larger Marvel universe, having Juggernaut and
I do like that
Deadpool
quality.
show up.
I
Speaking
do.
of which, the
The Insom games have it to some extent, but I do like that in Shattered Dimensions. That like a Spider-Man game with the boss fight as Juggernaut is just kind of a cool thing that is unique to that game.
Mm-hmm.
That I would like there to be more cameos in, but Brian Intihar even said something where he's like,
Daredevil.
what is the that does have me excited. I think a Daredevil Insomniac game would be sick, but it was him talking about like how far do you go setting something up before it becomes disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get the little hint of Wong, but like how far do you want to push that?
I'm
Like,
gonna be honest, like I don't care for cameos at all in the Insomniac universe. Like the Wong thing was cool, it was a little cute moment. It's just like whatever. Don't really care.
yeah, I guess a boss fight would be cooler if they wanted to expand it.
I don't think
Heroes Rogues.
I don't think Insomniac can make a Daredevil game and set it in the same universe though, unless they want to like bring back Kingpin again and then have Daredevil go through
true.
that. But like, no, why the fuck would we do that? We have a whole prequel book dedicated to Spider-Man versus Kingpin. He's gonna be the same characterization if he was to fight Daredevil. So it's just like we've already done this in this universe. Can we do something different?
Yeah.
If there
Also,
were,
I don't want to say they couldn't do it better than Netflix, but I mean,
oh yeah,
they probably could not tell that story better if it is just going to be Kingpin has the city by its throat. I have to do something,
yeah. I mean, like if they do make a Daredevil game, just I think they would make a great one, but just not in this same universe as Spider-Man.
$5, Cosmic Reader, Man, Synthetic Man has such terrible opinions on gaming. I still hate his God of War Ragnarok vid is the worst one. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
I haven't played Ragnarok personally, but is he just shitting on it the whole time?
Yeah, he calls Freya a Mary Sue. Even in God of War 2018, like just playing that, it's just blatantly wrong.
Bro, Kratos is literally like the most chattiest dude of all time. Like I don't understand how you can complain about characters in that series just doing crazy shit like constantly. I don't.
He's just
like
not the
Kratos.
brightest.
Kratos. I don't like the Gary Sue, Mary Sue. Like to me, it's a reductive argument. But like Kratos is like the most protag ever. Like I don't know. Anyway, weird.
The Deadpool game exists, though that one was not so great. It was okay. It actually might be slightly underrated. I remember critics hating it at the time for some reason. And there's plenty of other games you could name here. I don't really play fighting games, but people really like those Marvel vs. Capcom games.
Deadpool game
for
was
the
decent.
latest one. But it was around the end of the PS3 era where things started to change for the worse. And this is also not so coincidentally when I noticed the quality of the gaming industry starting to go downhill. It's funny that the first Avengers movie released in 2012, and yet, after its release, very few good superhero games came out anymore. At the beginning of the PS4 generation, we got Infamous Second Son, which was pretty much a downgrade from Infamous 2 in almost every way. It streamlined the gameplay, and you had more powers, but Delsin was not a very likable protagonist, and the story was kind of lame. And ultimately,
why is the story lame? Why is he not a likable protagonist?
He probably hasn't played it since 2013.
He died after this. There hasn't been another game since. Arkham Knight came out, which many people think is the best out of the Arkham games. I thought it was a bit of a downgrade in some ways, but I can't deny that in terms of graphic fidelity, it's one of the most beautiful looking games ever made, even to this day. Many people have cited that graphics have only gone downhill since Arkham Knight, with only a few notable exceptions like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Some people say it's really good. I think it was a minor downgrade.
Wait. I think the only thing they downgraded in this game was the boss fights, the story, and yeah, and some of the gameplay elements with the Bat Tank.
Barbara Gordon's voice actress is worse in Arkham Knight than before, I'd say. I'm just squeezing fucking downgrades, but premium suck, $5. Synthetic Man on his Spider-Man 2 stream wanted the people in Insomniac to be decapitated over a crash. Interesting.
I'm not surprised, honestly. All right.
Many people have cited.
How many I got one crash. Did you get any crashes?
Well, I've got like 90 hours on the game, so
right.
I think I've crashed like 10 times.
Okay.
But most of the times I've crashed, it's when I'm like going fucking light speed through the city. So I'm just like, all right, and then I just load back in 5 seconds. I don't even fucking remember it. Just like whatever.
Yeah, I got the one, and I'm probably like 70% completed. I got one crash. But I do. There is a certain like, it's like zodiac signs, I guess, for guys. For me, at least, if you say your favorite Arkham game is Arkham Knight, there is kind of like I do kind of spit at you, but that's just me. Because it had like a weird renaissance. Like when it came out, I feel like when it came out, people were very critical of it. It was like people did not like it, and then it also had the PC port, which is really bad. And then I don't know why it just got so beloved so quickly out of nowhere.
I mean, my opinion on the game has been pretty much the same since the first time I played it.
Yeah, same. Like, but I don't know. Just like weird revisionist history of people being like,
even the first time, when the first time I played it, like it really disappointed. Like even when I was literally like a fucking little booger muncher at the time I first played it, I was in like 6th grade, I think. Maybe I was going into 6th grade. No, was it 7th grade? I don't fucking know. Whatever. But like I played that game and I was expecting it to be like the greatest thing in the world because I loved the previous Arkham games I played. Batman was my favorite superhero at the time. And I played Arkham Knight, and then I was like, damn, kind of disappointed by this.
But yeah, I was so into the like hype for... I was hyped for Arkham Knight before Origins came out. Like all the shit that they sprinkled into City, I was like, damn, where's this Azrael plot going to go? What's going to happen with Hush? And then all that shit got pretty much dropped by Knight.
I mean, the Azrael thing was cool. It was like, I think the challenges could have been way better. Like they were literally the equivalent of dropping on the floor and fighting a couple thugs.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch the Griffin Gaming review. I'm probably gonna make a response video to that because it's fucking dog shit. He's dog shit at the game as well. So yeah.
And he's a dog shit human. Just say it. No, I'm kidding. I don't know who this person is.
No, he is. He's a fucking idiot.
There you
go. He's also one of those people. He's like, the game was woke garbage.
Downhill since Arkham Knight, with only a few notable exceptions like Red Dead Redemption 2 actually pushing video game graphics forward toward...
Bro, what? Like
what
Red
Dead
2 looks great visually and graphically, but like it doesn't look as good as Uncharted 4. It doesn't look as good as Detroit Become Human. Like, what is he talking about?
More realism, anyway. Me, I don't care so much for realism. It's always about the aesthetic design of the game, you know? I don't want video games to be realistic, but Arkham Knight did strike a nice balance between comic bookiness and photorealism that it just looks so damn good. It really does. And then we didn't get another notable superhero game for 3 more years when we got Insomniac Spider-Man, which frankly I think is just kind of overrated. Is it a bad game? No. I actually did enjoy the game despite the
interesting.
creeping little hints of wokeness.
weird
Oh
watching
my
this.
god, dude, he can't. Like, just shut up.
It's
Like-
weird watching gameplay from the first game after playing the second because I'm expecting web wings to come out.
Yeah, and like, just like the animations.
Yeah.
I honestly probably couldn't go back and play Spider-Man PS4 after playing Spider-Man 2. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just like everything gameplay wise that I loved about the first game is just amplified in the second game. So why would I go back? Unless I want to like replay the story. But I've replayed that game like over 20 times, so I'm like, yeah, I don't need to.
But it's good, but kind of woke.
Dude, he's like a fucking Facebook mom who sits in a Facebook group all day. It's a little bit woke through the goddamn propaganda.
Or
I
like
don't
making
know.
Mary Jane a
Okay, yeah.
reporter instead of a supermodel, which just makes her a shitty clone of Lois Lane, and you were forced to play as her
okay.
multiple times in
This
that
is
game,
what-
Stock
this-
criticism.
Yeah, this is why the game is woke.
which were just awful padding. And then, of course, shoving Miles
Not good
Morales in.
missions, but yeah. Oh,
Imagine
shoving-
if
He was the new. popular
Imagine
thing.
if
And,
MJ
I've
was
seen the
just like-
leaks.
she just was, a 10 and 10 supermodel that did nothing. Like, can you imagine if that
her
game?
character would have been magnitudes worse. She would
Yeah.
not have been able to be as well implemented into the story. Like, gameplay-wise, yeah, her missions kind of blow, but fucking, like, story-wise and narrative-wise, like, how she impacts Peter's arc and how she kind of mirrors it, and how she has her own flaws, and we go through her in the game, go through with her in the game, and how we see her character progression, like, yeah, way better than, like, how are you going to implement a model into that story? I don't, like...
It's also interesting that people complain that they changed MJ's profession, but not Peter's. Like, typically he's a photographer, but in the games he's, we never get to see him really do that. Except
Peter's
in
not
the-
a woman, so,
Yeah, I mean, that's more or less what I'm saying. That's more or less what I'm alluding to.
in that game, which were just awful padding. And then, of course, shoving Miles Morales in because he was the new popular thing. And oh yes, I've
What,
seen
he wasn't
the
even
New
he wasn't-
popular?
First of all, when they added Miles Morales into this game, it was probably like literally when they started development. So yeah, Into the Spider-Verse didn't come out. He wasn't even popular before Into the Spider-Verse.
Also, I mean, it doesn't work either way because he'd already been like frontlining his own comic book for probably 10 years by the time they were in development.
Wait, when he was created in 2012?
No, it's had to be earlier than that.
I think it was 2012.
Miles first appearance. I have his first appearance on my wall right now. August 2011. That's weird. That doesn't. So how? He'd only been around 3 years with him. The first game came out. I guess that game's.
Well, the first game took 3.5 years, almost 4 to develop. They said.
Right. Interesting. 2018. So if it came out, if they were developing it at the start of 2015.
It's just funny.
He'd been around
It's-
a few years anyway.
It's
you
just
know, like,
so funny how the immediate two things he goes to call the game woke is woman character, then young black character.
yeah, minority.
Nice, and game's instantly woke. What about Arkham? Is Arkham woke? Because one of the first characters you're introduced to is Cash. He's black. Is Arkham woke?
Lucius Fox is in this games as well. There's a crippled
Yeah.
woman in your ear the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is Batgirl woke?
It was so woke when they made her Batgirl. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because she was the hot new thing, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
When they had the Arkham Knight DLC.
Mm-hmm. They just needed to throw some woke propaganda in there, because I mean, it was during the decline, so you know.
It was a 10 out of 10 game except for those elements.
Yeah,
and now
I know.
it's like a 10 with like a woke citation.
10, but also woke. So be
Also
wary.
woke as shit, actually.
leaks for the ending of Spider-Man 2. No, I'm not going to spoil them in this video. You can do that yourself if you want to see
Wait.
just how
Pause?
bad and
He's like laughing at this for whatever reason.
Has he been comparing this to Spider-Man 2 without it even having been out when he recorded it?
No, he said he played it when he recorded this video.
Oh, okay. You got, like, a
shoving
copy.
Miles Morales in because he was the new popular thing. And oh yes, I've seen the leaks for the ending of Spider-Man 2. No, I'm not going to spoil them in this video. You can do that yourself if you
But he
wanna
said he's
see
seen the leaks,
just how bad
so he hadn't beaten
Insomniac has gotten over the years, which is sad
I guess maybe he didn't beat it.
because they...
You know, okay, you know, there's one side mission in this game I won't defend. This was just, yeah, that was right on the nose. That's like the most stereotypical shit I've ever seen in my life. That side mission was, I think it's kind of indefensible.
I haven't done this one yet. I don't know what happens on it.
You'll see. It's just
Okay.
it's just like the most stereotypical gay guy in the world. It's like, and it just felt like there was no thought put into this side mission.
They
I
used
feel
to
like
be
a
one
lot
of
of
my
the side missions are very one note. Like to be a little bit critical, like getting the dog for the blind lady was
What?
like,
Bro, come on.
I don't know, man.
That
I
was
like,
neat. The Howard side mission was fired. A Mysterio side mission was fired.
I thought
rape-
it was kind of no, all that stuff is good, but I thought it was the one that was funny is I played it today and it was the guy releasing his pigeons and he like timed it perfectly so he would die like the moment Spider-Man came back. He was like holding on just long enough. I thought that was kind of a funny idea.
That shit was so. That shit was sad, bro. Shit almost.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of like when Harry died, I was kind of laughing because I was like, oh, what was funny is when he died and then I think I told you this, but when Miles resuscitated him, and then he kind of dies again anyway. I was like, oh shit. He just like he just woke up to say one word, then died again.
I was low key. I was tearing up a bit when Harry died or when he was about to die.
Yeah. No, it was good stuff, but I just at that moment where he's like, Peter, dies again.
Yeah, like I don't know. The side missions in this game are great to me. Like I think there's a couple bad ones and a couple just a couple bad ones, but for the most part, it's great. Like I
agree.
I don't know any fucking game that doesn't have at least a couple bad side missions. Like even God of War 2018, I think it has a couple bad ones.
I mean, mechanically, the Zaz shit is just you just moving the stick over the map. You know, that's like the meat of it, and then you deal with them at the end. But you know, we're gonna say Arkham City is dog shit. It's woke.
Yeah.
What are all these mentally ill people in Arkham? This shit is woke.
Yeah.
Like all these villains with their weird quirks. Like, give me a break.
Come on.
favorite developers. They actually have made multiple of my favorite games of all time, including my favorite game of all time. So it's very sad to see them slowly fall apart, much like Naughty Dog did. But it was only a matter of time after they were bought out by Sony. But yeah, Marvel Spider-Man, in terms of like AAA cinematic Sony slop, was probably one of their better games to have come out in the past 10 years. But I don't like movie games, dude. And the gameplay here
movie game.
was a clone of Arkham-style combat.
No,
but
it wasn't. You're fucking brain dead.
A lot more cheat codes, aka ways to just instantly disable an enemy, which I suppose I prefer to Arkham Combat, but I'm kind of tired of that system by now. I was never...
The only real cheat codes, quote-unquote, is like a couple of the gadget combos, and they're not even cheat codes when you use them in like the bases, or for example. They're only like an instant win really when you're just like, it's just like a random crime and you've got like, and you still have to set the enemies up so that you can actually do that.
The Web Blossom, I'm glad that was cut though.
Yeah,
that was
kind
of a fucking
well.
cheat code. But
even still,
weird.
even in like the Web Blossom and like the random enemy bases, like you use it, you take out like what six or five enemies depending on how many are around you, and then you still have to fight the next few waves. It's like.
Yeah, I also think it's funny how he's been talking up the original Spider-Man 2 so much, when in that game, like the only similar thing between Spider-Man Combat and Arkham Combat is that you have the like little warning ahead of time, and you know you can press a button to take advantage of it. But that was in Spider-Man in the first place. Like Arkham copied that from Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I don't know. I mean, I could honestly. There is a better argument. I disagree, but with the new game being more like it because the parry is like that's an active counter, whereas
the parry is a lot more engaging than the counter in Arkham.
For sure, and it also isn't like half the game is like punch counter. But in the first game, which is apparently all he's probably played when making this video, it seems, all you do is dodge. Like that's all. That's it, you're not. It's not a parry in the first Spider-Man. So I don't know. I don't know how it's similar because you punch people and it's a third person game.
The only thing that's similar about it is you press square to attack people, and there's finishers, and yeah.
And it's a superhero.
They're very they're definitely clones of each other. Why are people so dumb?
Big fan in the first place. And man, I'm really striking blanks for any other good superhero games that came out last gen. I mean, maybe I'm forgetting one or two prominent ones, but that was pretty much it, man. And I have to emphasize, this is during the height of the MCU. If Disney wasn't a bunch of greedy fucking bastards trying to have their own game studios...
Disney has literally nothing to do with this game. Like, at all. They don't even own the Marvel Games license.
It's also a weird criticism because game development in and of itself is... the budgets are way bigger. They're harder to make than they were in the 2000s. And also, there have been so many bad superhero games throughout the years that he seems to just be ignoring, that they don't want to just keep like depreciating their brands by putting out dud after dud. Like when I was growing up, I played literally every superhero game that came out. There's the Green Lantern movie game sucked ass, the Thor video game that sucked ass, the first X-Men movie game sucked ass. Like there were a bunch of bad ones. Justice League Heroes was like bootleg Ultimate Alliance. Ultimate Alliance 2 is kind of underwhelming. Like, it's harder. It's like, why aren't there 100 Uncharted 4s every year? What's Disney's so fucking greedy? Is like, bro, like, that's not how game development works. And it is, I think it is, the valid criticism is to go, can we make simpler games that the budgets aren't so bloated? But it is kind of like, it's a matter of demand. Like people want bigger and better and crazier graphics and more complex game systems. So I don't know. I mean, I guess in this guy's ideal world, they just keep making like PS2 games, like literally just the graphics are, but nobody like people are calling the new Spider-Man game a PS3 game, like graphically, like, and it's objectively not. So if this guy's reality was met, people would reject it immediately, but $5 from Cosmic Reader. Man, I finished the game with that Howard mission. I was literally so sad and screamed, no, this is how I end my game. That would be sad that that's your 100% completion, is seeing Howard die or whatever. Man, that would be sad.
That's tough.
But anyway.
And have a million shitty gacha mobile games going at the same time. They could have maybe put out some awesome AAA experience, like an Iron Man game, which is really what everybody wanted, and now finally they're getting around to making one.
Does this fucking dumbass not realize that Disney doesn't have the fucking rights to Marvel games? They only have the movie rights. Like, what?
After Iron Man's been dead for years in the movies now. So now we come to the last part of the video, basically the downfall of superhero games.
I think
and of
Disney
course,
does
the
have a
biggest
game
blunder,
studio,
the one that I'm sure
really
all of you knew I was going to talk about, is Marvel's...
They have EA and Respawn do like the Star Wars shit, and they got Square Enix to do the Avengers and Insomniac to do like, I mean, Disney owns all of Marvel, but they don't actually like, they don't have their hands on all the games as much as they do. It sounds like most of the time, like Marvel Entertainment can kind of act as its own separate entity. Like if they're talking about killing Aunt May, they're talking to Marvel. They don't, like, Disney doesn't really seem to give that much of a shit.
Well, yeah, they say they talked to Marvel about a lot of the decisions, and Marvel's just kind of like, yeah, do what you got to do what you want.
Yeah. So.
And like the quality in terms of writing, in terms of like, or compared to the MCU, or if you compare the Spider-Man PS4 to the MCU, it's like night and day. There isn't a single MCU movie that even comes close to that game's story.
Oh, you mean the Avengers game? I agree. I got to that game. I think it was free on PlayStation Gold or whatever, and I was playing as Black Widow shooting robots, and I'm like, what am I wasting my time on?
I didn't even play it. I watched the story on YouTube, and I was just like, yeah, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the rest of this just like you talking about
future.
Marvel Avengers. And
Guardians of the Galaxy was a good game. Everybody says that was good.
It was decent to me. I just hated that game's gameplay. Story was great though.
Kill the Justice League probably will suck ass.
Yep.
Not gonna hold you. So maybe it is. Maybe he's right about everything. It is fallen. We have lost.
Except for Wolverine.
So
Oh wait, shit! Insomniac's awoke Studios. That's gonna suck too. God damn it! Screw the Wokies.
Down with Insomniac.
Yeah.
yeah, the downfall of superhero games is basically just a microcosm of the downfall of the gaming industry at large. And when I'd recorded this part, Spider-Man 2 wasn't out yet, and now that it's released, well, this video feels more appropriate than ever. My prediction was correct. Not only is it an incredibly lazy sequel gameplay-wise, playing nearly identical to the original game, but it's all
Just like majority of sequels. And first of all, when you get into the depth of the combat, it's not identical. Second of all, the web swinging is pretty much completely revamped.
I mean, I'll tell you from experience, I tried playing the second game like the first game for most of it, and I was getting my ass kicked by like most of the enemy types.
Yeah, like the game is definitely more challenging than the first game. The enemy designs are a lot better. The enemy variety is a lot better. There's more variety. Or you could argue that they have similar amounts of variety. It's just the variety in Spider-Man 2 is just different in terms of how you go about it. The first game was more about gadgets. This is more about more just like moves using the web yanks and like you have the gadgets and shit, but like the how you get creative in both games is pretty different.
Also, again, to go back to this guy's fascination with the first Spider-Man 2 movie game, they were going to attempt to implement the swinging from the second game in the first movie game, but they didn't have the time to do it, so they just used the Neversoft engine basically.
Mm-hmm.
So if those developers had their way, those two games would have played similarly. Like they would have just been, you know, more or less interchangeable gameplay wise. And I don't know. I mean,
well, the reason that like okay, so like they the combat, I'm pretty sure the combat from the Spider-Man 1 movie game is kind of has similar elements to the Spider-Man 2 movie game. But fucking like the swinging was what they literally like they said that's like pretty much all they focused on. Like that's what the guy said. He said, "Listen, if I can't do this, then I'm not making this game or I'm not working on it."
So that's that guy was developing that during the dev time for the first game, and he didn't get far enough along to implement it. But that was always the idea. And also, I mean, Arkham City plays pretty much the same as Asylum.
Yeah.
City plays the same as Asylum. Origins pretty much.
Well, they all pretty much they all just take what worked and expand upon it and improve upon it, just like majority of sequels in existence.
Because he said himself that he preferred the first game's gameplay to Arkham, and so like, would you want them to just throw everything out or add stuff like the more focus on super moves? That's in the Spider-Man 2 game, the more like refined and kind of streamlined gadget system, so you're not like slowing down time most of the time, like picking your weapon wheel. I don't know.
You know what's crazy? I was sent this like Game Boy thingy from like this company. They said they wanted me to, or they'll send it to me if I make a video on it, and it's got like a bunch of it's basically an emulation device.
I've seen ads for that.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Shit.
also full of a cartoonish amount of woke propaganda.
Oh my fucking god, dude! Cartoonish amount of woke propaganda.
That I will.
Something that was
review
like shocking to me while playing the game is the fact that all three protagonists are like white millennials. That shocked me. Like that you'd. Obviously, Miles, you know, is a protagonist, but I'm like, it was weird to me. I would like it had to, you know, I was like, wow, because you wouldn't expect that. I was thinking
majority of the main characters in this game are literally white.
Yeah, they haven't race bent any of the villains really. Like Tinkerer was like a new character.
Well, they completely reinvented Tinkerer. Like,
yeah.
Who the fuck cares about the Tinkerer from the comics? Then like this is some grandstand. Oh wait, hold on. Thank you for the $2. Griffin did a vid on the MJ self-insert. It's bad. Yeah, that whole situation is stupid. Thank you for the $5 Swift. I'm so done with this sequel game bad because systems are similar to the first game. What the fuck do these guys want a full overhaul? What would it accomplish?
Evidently.
Like, I would be literally pissed if they completely overhauled how the combat worked in this game. Like, that's just like, they took every element and literally just expanded on it. It's like, while keeping it somewhat familiar in the areas that worked. Yeah. It's like, I would be mad if they like tried to completely change it. Like, that would just be dumb.
Very weird.
Comes out, but man, that game was just straight up not fun at all. Somewhere along the lines, video game developers forgot that video games are an interactive experience. You're supposed to play them.
What are you doing right now?
What
are you doing right now? Not only is your gameplay fucking ass, but what are you doing literally right now? Like, this interactive movie game.
Interactive experience. You're supposed to play them, not watch.
Look at how focused he is on the game too. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Interactive experience.
Yeah, you're.
You're supposed to play them, not watch them. And the thing is, despite my very low attention span, as long as you can keep cutscenes entertaining, I can tolerate them. I would prefer a story be told through the gameplay, much like people keep citing Half-Life 1 as a great example.
Something I've noticed is, like, it's because I have seen people complaining about Mary. Obviously, like in the first game, the gameplay segments were annoying, but like in this game, they make their relationship like there's a very, like, obviously the Scream fight is the culmination of that, and I'm like, if you're complaining about this, you just never talk to a woman, like, just point blank.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. Thank you for the $2, Sans. What did I miss?
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. It's just like, you're gonna have to rewind.
A game that you're pretty much playing the entire time, and the story is told through the environment and the scripted events during gameplay. But no, Sony games don't do that. They force you to watch hours of cutscenes while they moralize to you and teach you lessons that we were all taught during elementary school, and yet they're still lauded as these really deep experiences.
What
like
is the
revenge is bad, or
revenge is bad? Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
did you see the way?
Say that about,
yeah,
like,
you could say that.
comic book.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to say, like, how is the revenge story and Miles overcoming his, like, want for revenge badly told in this game? What is the problem? Like, I'm.
Be better. What a fucking great theme for a game. Be better.
It's also not the only theme of this game. The main theme of this game is overcoming trauma.
It's also the most reductive shit I've ever heard. Imagine, like, watching The Dark Knight and being like, "Oh wow, you shouldn't kill people." Crazy. Like, what a standard message. Like, come on, bruh. Like, I don't know. There's not, like, comic book media exists pretty much for those exact reasons. Like, it is. I don't know what is the alternative. Like, what else are they supposed to do? Like, be morally gray and, like, leave everything ambiguous? Like, I don't know what the alternative is. Maybe wait for the Wolverine game.
Yeah.
Where the moral is, like, cut someone's head off, and that's badass.
What the fuck does that even mean? And Spider-Man 2 continues this trend by be better. What a fucking great theme for a game. Be better. What the fuck does that even mean? And Spider-Man 2 continues this trend by trying to normalize all of the great social change that has happened in the past decade. Again, I'll go into detail in the next video.
Oh my
but to just stick to the gameplay, it plays far too similar to the previous game. This is not like Arkham Asylum, Arkham City.
He's literally such a fucking loser.
Claiming.
Look on his face.
No, it's just a fucking lazy sequel with the same exact gameplay as the last one. Actually worse in some ways. And the game is clearly not made with passion, except passion to spread political propaganda as the developer.
Yeah, alright, I think that's enough.
What do the comments say?
5,000 likes, 400 dislikes. Yeah, that's fucking wild.
the Hit the Punisher game because they're the people who would be on it. His shit. Damn, they should murder the Insomniac, right? The Punisher would go after the game devs.
Yeah. We used to
Not
make
sure.
jokes like I love the Raimi trilogy, but it was a weird directional decision to include the scene where Uncle Ben goes on a 5-minute tangent about how beneficial the slave trade. What?
What the hell?
And
I don't
the
remember
point of the
that.
joke was how out of left field that would be. Now we're saying I love the new Spider-Man game, but it was a weird directorial decision to include a mission where you play as a deaf. Really consists of printing activist graffiti on walls. It's not a joke. It's serious. Okay. That side mission wasn't very good, but okay. Like, what a grandstand point you made, man. I don't even fucking care.
Craziness.
What a great video, man. That was real good. Real good.
Yeah, I mean, that's about what I expected. Well, I was hoping it would be more an attack on Spider-Man 2. Does he have like? I mean, it's just 3 days ago, so I guess he's gonna dig into it later, maybe.
He
but-
said in the beginning he's making a review on the game, which
Okay.
should be shit, but you know.
Yeah.
I already watched the Griffin Gaming stuff. I'm gonna make a whole response video to it.
Yeah. Is there anything else? I mean,
I mean,
is there any other
I could pull up
fire
the
critique?
Lucas vid. It was pretty dumb.
Okay, I'll look through it with the eyes of a Raimi stan and see where he's coming from. With Raimi's advocate here. I was watching this guy's videos for sure leading up to PS4 and around.
So
What's the
from
main
what I
critique?
saw, from what I've seen of this video, he says he complains about one of the gameplay so you know, like how in the first game when you perfect dodge, you can just triangle insta kill someone.
Yeah.
He's mad that was
yeah.
taken out when the alternative that we have in this game is literally more engaging compared to what you did in the first game. And then he said Kraven's a one-dimensional character. So yeah, there's that.
Open again. I heard he's starring in the next superhero blockbuster. They're calling him Mellow Man. Mellow Man? I heard
He's got a tattoo that says
You gotta get YouTube Brad or whatever the hell, Brad.
Fuck that.
You gotta, Brad. It's just too. Just
You ever
This
have
is
a flip
actually
you
the
just
worst
wanna
shit
share
I've
with
ever
your
seen.
friends? You can't go back in the game and the replay's gone forever. Outplayed has once.
And here
Okay.
we go.
The
To
bad.
the bad. That is correct. I know with every game there's going to be bad. And in this game, the bad, I have to say, start off with the combat. I gave the combat praise and the good, but there was one thing that irritated me in the combat. And one thing that was the perfect dodge. In Spider-Man 1 and even in Miles Morales, if you were to do a perfect dodge,
This is
towards
filmed
someone
very
who's
much
shooting
like
at you,
he's
you
trying to
get an
inspire me.
instant takedown. And it was so rewarding.
Like I like the
And
alternate
reason
angle,
why it's
like
such a bad in
the
this game
lighting.
We do this
is
thing where
because of
you
the
press
reason I
pause
said
on this
the
guy's
good one,
face every
which
5
is they
seconds, and
doubled
you'll get
the
a dumb
amount
at.
of
You'll just see
So
a funny
when
frame.
Spider-Man
It's like
1, where you may have one sniper shooting at you or one guy shooting at you, in this game you have 3 or 4 lines.
I didn't even notice
on
that
you.
was missing, to be
At any
honest.
given moment, you have a guy shooting at you. You have 2 snipers. You have the people who are shooting the net.
Did you complete the Spider-Verse side quest? And if so, what were your thoughts on it? And what
He hates it.
character
Don't ask
did you
him
use
about
to
it.
complete it, Miles or Peter? Yeah, I don't. Thank you for the $5. I don't like that side mission. I don't like it. It's not. Yeah, it's not
Not
a.
a good one.
I don't like that they're. I don't like that they're connecting it to the Across the Spider-Verse because it destroys continuity of the comics. But yeah.
Shaking my head. We talked about this off air, but the backpacks were better. Like,
Yeah, the backpacks were better.
yeah.
Fucking but what he's saying about the what he's about to say about the thingy, like how you perfect dodge, you get a triangle instant takedown. It literally you can do the same thing in this game. All you have to do is just press triangle and then L2 R2 instant takedown. It's literally just more engaging, and it's a non-issue.
I did not notice it was missing, and
It's-
I platinumed the first game like twice.
like what's it called? This is the same person that's talking about, I want a challenge. I want more of a challenge in my games than we literally are. If you remember from what I showed on Twitter, or not you don't, but chat does, if they do. The dude literally needed to turn down the fucking difficulty when he was playing the first game, which is just embarrassing. And he was also just like going on this whole brigade like, oh, the gameplay engagement in this 20-second set piece where you're going up a building, this isn't challenging. The swinging isn't challenging. And now he's literally complaining about something that he wants to make the game easier. Like, shut the fuck up.
At you, so you have a whole bunch of long-range attacks coming at you, and you have no way to go about it other than to, the
web strike. Use gadgets. You're lying. Like, you're fucking. You literally just suck at the game.
So fast, you can't level them up because they also have different combats where they limit you from being in the sky. So it's things.
Yeah, no shit. The problem.
He must have died every time.
You have a problem with enemies that force you to fucking pay attention when you're in air combat. Nice.
He must have.
What a fucking moron.
He just can't figure out how to deal with it.
It's like that where it's like, okay, what do I do? So when you have all these long-range attacks coming at you, I think the one thing that would have been nice in flow with the combat would have been that, to
Dude, if he's talking about ranged enemies, even when you perfect dodge in the first game for that triangle thing, if they're too far away, you won't get that triangle thing. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
For the perfect dodge, because what you get right now is just a web. Well, why am I going to get a reward of a web when I could have done that myself? I could have just webbed them up.
The perfect dodge gives you an instant web up, so you don't have to spam web shooters at them. It's also, again, more engaging the way he did this fucking frame.
He's got some kind of
So I think by having that instant kill with the perfect dodge, I think
competent AI in my video game?
Long-range enemies who are using, their weapons. I think that would have been sublime, but they
sublime.
For some reason.
Oh my god.
It's very frustrating, especially
my head with a cog bag and ecstasy. I'm like that perfect dodge of this bitch.
Sorry, I don't care what you have to say. This story is garbage.
The story is garbage, trash. Let's hear why.
I'm not going to get into spoilers. Kraven is pointless.
He's pointless.
This is what I was hoping the last guy would talk about.
He's nothing more than a device to move the plot along. It's not like he challenges Peter's no-kill rule. It's not like he has depth, like, oh my god, I'm literally about to fucking die. My parents and pretty much my family raised me to be the way I am right now, and I wouldn't equal to finally earn my death because I'm fucking dying. No depth to that at all.
Or that he parallels
or that he
story.
Yeah. Nothing. No depth going on there. Not the fact that he kills Spider-Man in, like, the first act of the game, raising the stakes for the story immediately. Nothing. Not like he destroys...
Or killed all the villains, like...
Not like
he did the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, not like he destroyed Kurt Connors' life just for the fun of it. Like, yeah, there's nothing going on with Kraven. He's one note. Just move to push the plot along.
That's it. His whole motive is 2D. That's what he is. He's a 2D character.
Your fucking brain is 2D.
And it's like, what? What do you, like, that's it? That's the only reason you're here. Yes, my next hunt. That's it, bro. Like, what? You not teaming up with anybody? There's nothing else. And
when does Kraven team? Wait, what? When does Kraven really team up with people in the comics? Really?
When he's been on like a few Sinister Six teams.
I mean, yeah, but like when he's just him versus Spider-Man, there's multiple comics. Like,
Kraven's Last Hunt is literally this game.
Like, not really
the same motivation that he wants a superior, or he wants to prove that he's better. He wants to, it's like, how much more one note is that though than trying, like, I want to prove that I'm the superior Spider-Man, and then I'm just going to off myself because I realize I'm the apex predator. How is that any more depthful than I'm dying? I want to find someone to, push me. I want to find somebody who, like, I don't know, that line where he's like, I will not let God decide my fate. That's raw. Like, I don't know. That conveys depth pretty well to me. That's an interesting pathos.
Every time you pause the fucking video, it's just like
I like the black and white during his Kraven impression. Yeah. The alternate angle.
I think Kraven has been completely underutilized in this story, to the point where We didn't need him to be here, honestly.
You're so fucking dumb. Oh my god, you're so fucking media illiterate.
We could have.
Yeah, Craven does win at the
within,
end.
like,
Somebody
the
in my
first half
comment
of
is
the game.
saying,
That's it.
like, that's interesting. Craven got his goal. Like, he did win, you know? And he also created a threat. He I don't know. He facilitated Venom's existence. So I don't know, man.
He facilitates one of the reasons, or like even in that boss fight, we see Venom being mad at Craven because he was part of the reason why him and Peter got separated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even really address his argument because he hasn't really explained it. He like I don't how if you took him out of the plot, it would be a completely different game. So I don't understand how he's not important.
You didn't need him there. But yes, I'm irritated with Craven. The next thing I have to say is Mary Jane. I'm sorry. Whoever is writing Mary Jane, I don't know which one of the writers, but she is not likable in this game.
Why?
At all.
Why?
There's a moment, not to get into spoiler territory.
I'm gonna criticize this game's story, but not spoil it. Yeah, nice. Fucking shut the fuck up.
50-minute video with no spoilers?
And it's like, you knew that wasn't him who was doing all of that, right? You knew that wasn't him, and despite that, you still put out this, you know.
And she quit. She quit at the end.
He is so fucking dumb. So he's mad that she wrote the article that Peter was fucking. You missed the point of that scene so fucking. It literally flew over your fucking bald head. Like, bro, you are fucking so dumb. The point of that scene was to convey that fucking. It's literally like the theme of addiction with Peter. It's like an intervention scene. Like when Peter's like, your job is to write the truth. I did. She's literally concerned that Peter is not being himself. She knows he's not being himself, you fucking idiot.
She's doing it to like, it's something that's supposed to be shocking from Peter's perspective. Like, I can't believe you did that. And the point is because she's trying to rattle him out of his, you know, current state. But and also she is conflicted about it. She's like, this is obviously the guy I love. And she quits at the end because she realizes that that's not what she, like, she's being forced to write bad shit about Spider-Man. And she's also concerned about her career, which is one motivation why she does it. Like, it's multi-layered there. So I don't understand. It's also like
this fucking Freya.
The symbiote is allegorical for addiction, which is like a real thing that people suffer from that takes them and makes them, like, you know, act differently, act out of character essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And that each protagonist in this game has like these influences, these outside influences that are informing them to kind of act differently. Like Miles is like, will he or will he not betray his convictions that his father implanted into him, and will he kill Martin Lee, or will he be able to move past that? And MJ has this other external force, which is J. Jonah Jameson, and she struggles with that, but ultimately she moves past that. Like, it's all,
and she
all
just
of their arcs are
also,
parallel.
like the way they implement like what she struggles with as well is like completely realistic for the universe's standards. Like, oh my, like her fucking boyfriend's a superhero. She feels like a lot of his problems are overtaking like her problems. Like, it's like, what is the issue with this?
It's also she was spreading the truth. He's going crazy. Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
Why don't you pop some more pills and tell us how you really feel?
You should fucking just put that in the comment section.
Like, why? You are just the worst type of girlfriend ever. Like, ever.
Bro,
you know what?
Peter's literally he's like drunkenly insulting his friends and family. Like,
oh, wait a second. I understand this criticism. I get it. This is why, because it just came back to me. I know why he doesn't like MJ in this game. Let me find the video real quick.
What's he think of Randy MJ?
Spider-Man 2 is perfect. Which is his quote.
Interesting.
This is the guy. Wait, shit. This completely. I completely understand why he doesn't like MJ in this game.
I want to kill myself.
Oh, brother.
Like, I genuinely want to kill myself. Oh my fucking god. Like, I come here, bro. This fucking pharmacy in Inglewood, and I'm just like, fucking idiots, bro. Honestly, I hope this place gets gentrified. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. I hope this whole fucking place gets gentrified. Fucking goddamn morons. I'm trying to get a prescription. This bitch is looking at me. Well, which prescriptions do you need? Bitch, what are you talking about? Which prescriptions do I need? Do I look like the pharmacist? I just told you I got what? We needed 7 prescriptions. I got 4 of them. 4, I'm not good at math, but 4, 5, 6, 7. Bitch, that means I need 3 more. This stupid fucking aging fucking cunt dumb bitch is looking at me like I'm supposed to know. Bitch, I don't know. You want to tell me they didn't document what prescriptions they gave me?
Just wait till he keeps going.
Women don't work. You guys were not created to work. I'm be dead ass for you. You guys were created to do very small jobs, all right? Very small but important jobs, okay? When it comes to this business and work shit, get the fuck out of the goddamn building.
Okay. We get it. I can't watch 3 minutes of this. I can't or however much longer. Jesus
now we
gosh.
get the MJ criticisms. I understand it now.
In addition to that, her whole attitude. You have moments where Peter is like professing his love to her. He's like, hey, you're the best. And she's like, yeah, I know. Okay, cool. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what? What is this? I'm sick and tired of Peter. He comes off as being nerfed. His powers seem to be extremely nerfed, and it seems that they do that in order to shine light to Mary Jane.
Oh yeah, the girl that he's literally.
I keep seeing that criticism that he's nerfed, and like,
no,
I don't know. I don't know if people mean they think he's literally weaker, or if they mean that people are being written to be stronger than him, or because.
Dude, we literally have a whole boss fight where MJ is losing control of herself. What's it called? Peter is holding back against her, and he still beats. Fatigued and tired, and he beats her. Like, yeah.
In base, she's as a symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
To Miles, because they have to balance it. So the only way to balance this is, well, he's out of order right now, and it's just inconsistent from what we've seen in Spider-Man 1, where this fool took on the Sinister Six by himself. And now you want to tell me
they jumped him and like
them
they were gonna kill him, man. They're all 6 of them were gonna kill him. Listen, dog.
In his mind, Spider-Man PS4 would have probably been a better story if he just beat the Sinister Six right then and there.
Yeah. Well, and Miles would have to get his ass beat first, and then Peter would show up and one-shot them all at the same time.
I'm not going to get, like I said, I'm not getting into spoiler territory, but the story is garbage, bruh. Absolute trash. And then we get into the whole symbiote, right? The whole symbiote. I'm just like, if I wanted Web of Shadows, I would have played Web of Shadows.
The whole symbiote invasion in this game happens for a completely different reason than Web of Shadows. This is literally Web of Shadows if it was done correctly.
It's also like, if I wanted Kraven, I would have read Last Hunt. Like, if I wanted Spider-Man, I'd play Spider-Man. Like, I don't know.
If I wanted Venom, I would have read I would have watched Spectacular. I would have watched the 90s series. I would have watched The Birth of Venom. I would have went to the whole
shit off. Can't adapt shit for any. Like, how long has it been since Web of Shadows, bro? You can just never do another symbiote invasion. Come on, man. That's like half. That's half what the symbiotes do.
It's like even though I think Spider-Man 3 is shit, it's like watching Spider-Man 3 and being like, if I wanted the whole Venom arc, I would have go watch the 90s series because they did it first, where Peter's getting mad and being all whiny and being fucking. He takes the symbiote off at the church bell. I mean, that happened in the comics before it happened in the show, but fucking the whole personality shift happened first in the 90s show.
If I wanted them to scream at Shocker, that'd be valid. They did miss that opportunity.
High key, that was a missed opportunity.
I didn't buy Spider-Man 2 PS5 to give me a spin-off of Web of Shadows. That's not what I bought it for.
You didn't get that.
It's like the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes of the game.
Because this is your Venom. I know the story of Venom. I know how it is in the comics. I know how it is in the movies. I know how it is in previous games. Where
Then
are you gonna
do you
do
realize they
that's
changed
different
it?
from others? And it seems
Like
to
it's
go
it's
down the
it's a
same
different
tracks,
host.
the same, you know,
If I wanted the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, I would have watched that. Fuck Harry as Venom.
stereotypes, and it's just like it's nothing new here, and it's very irritating.
Nothing
because
new
they've
here.
Gotten this story right. If they had really made this story great,
There's
this
nothing new here. Yeah, MJ turning into Scream, that happened before. MJ overcoming, Miles overcoming revenge from Martin Lee, that whole arc happened before. What's it called? What else was I about to say? Venom
Nobody ever heard of Mr. Negative.
Peter getting anti-Venom and taking on Venom. Yeah, that's happened before for sure. Fucking the symbiote invasion happening because he has to bond to Harry, and they share this, and he has to like manipulate his motivations. Like, yeah, that's happened before. It's like, yeah, dude, for sure.
I would have just read Planet of the Symbiotes.
I would have read Venom vs. Carnage.
Yeah. If I wanted Web of Shadows.
If
I wanted web swinging,
a masterpiece of a game. It really would have been just something. Just wow, this was awesome.
Wait, I thought it couldn't be a masterpiece because it didn't innovate enough before, Lucas. What happened? Huh,
it could have been if they innovated more with the plot and didn't do Web of Shadows again, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the story falls flat on so many ways, so many angles. I mean, I'll do a spoiler video, but it falls flat time and time and time again, where it's like, what? Come on, really? It's just, I didn't get any.
He hasn't made a single valid argument.
Harry, I don't know Harry, and the way they go about.
You don't know the character they spent the whole first half of the game building up. Yeah, nice.
Harry was dumb.
And then he was characterized in the first game as well.
Yeah.
But there's certain activities
and the prequel novel
do with Harry that are more fun than you going to the carnival rides. That is horrible. And speaking of horrible, one of the worst things, another bad about this game, are these walkie-talkie moments. Please, for the love of God, Sony, stop doing these walkie-talkie segments. I don't know where this came from. I don't know who.
There's literally like fucking 3 of these sections in the game, and some of them are like the Coney Island section isn't bad. The whole the Emily May Foundation section isn't bad. I don't even know what else. I can't think of much else.
You've never been to a carnival before? Shit's fun.
The whole, I mean, like there was a couple mini games at the carnival where I was just like, all right, yeah, this isn't really all that good. Like the roller coaster shit, but like the hydro bench, how you use the controller, I thought that was cool. The basketball shit where you use the controller, I thought that was also cool. The whole beginning section, like yeah, the whole beginning section when you go to what's his name, Peter's house, and then you're like cleaning up his house. Like yeah, they could have probably did that a bit shorter. But you also get a key story moment in that section. But then you go to the high school and you get a cool little moment where Peter's back in high school and he's like hiding from the security guard. That shit was cool. Like, what are the other walkie-talkie segments?
I don't know. Maybe he describes them.
This is painful. It is actually causing physical pain to me.
Shows the scars.
All right. And if there's a way that I could skip it, I would. But you force me to play these walkie-talk segments in order to progress in the game. That is not fair. You have got to either figure out another way to go about this.
Did you like the bicycle sections?
Altogether. They're not fun. Me delivering
whatever,
being a caterer
like
to
it
people,
literally happens. It's like lasts for like 1 minute.
Me riding
just like,
a bicycle
like my game is ruined.
Not fun. Me walking around without any powers in a school or whatever is not fun.
You do have powers in the school. What the fuck are you talking about?
How you do it. And every single time they try to do this to give some exposition. And it's like,
you fight people in the Young Peter mission as well.
Exposition. Character relationships being built up like that isn't exposition. But alright.
Show me. Okay?
You are being shown. You literally are being shown, you fucking idiot.
It sounds like he just wants like Mario Brothers or something. Like there's no just pure gameplay. Like how else are you supposed to convey it if you don't like the cutscenes and you don't like, I don't know, he doesn't like the gameplay either, it seems, or I don't know, maybe the perfect dodge was the only problem he had.
I think he likes the gameplay.
Okay, so we would just want like only Spider-Man, and the only plot is conveyed to you through people talking to you while you're fighting.
How do you, I just don't know how you convey these relationships without having some slow moments in the gameplay. And it's like even the couple slow moments in the gameplay, they're like nothing compared to the highs of this game.
He's also complaining he doesn't know Harry, but every time they try to show you who he is, he complains. Like, how else? But what's the alternative? Like, what do you want? Like, just the cutscene of them talking to each other, or would you rather have some level of interactivity where at least you're like pressing buttons? I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Well, it doesn't sound like he likes video games because, you know, I don't know. There's only so many ways to convey what people feel.
Segment with Atreus and the girl, it's like, Lord, I don't even want to do another playthrough of that because I'm fearing that level. And it's the same thing here.
Again, with the Ironwood section, not a good section because it dragged out for way too long. The sections in Spider-Man 2 don't even drag out for too long. But the Ironwood section from Ragnarok, which you'll get to when you play, it's not very good. But like again, that's like a minute part of a fucking amazing game that doesn't detract its quality in the slightest.
Even though it's in the beginning of the game, I'm like, it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit me at all. It irritates me. I don't want to go to a carnival and play games and be like, oh, look, it's me, MJ, and Harry. We're bestie buddies. No, that's not how you do that. That's not how you relay a stronger connection with Harry. I think you do it very well, a little more in the game, right? I'm not going to spoil it, but I think you do it very well there where it's more engaging and you get to say, oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
If they just got to the Agent Venom part of the story just out of nowhere, that would not work because they built up to that. They went from Harry showing off like, oh, I have to leave real quick because he did something at the carnival when he broke the little bell at the, like when he slammed the hammer or whatever the fuck he did. And then he helps Peter out with the roller coaster thing. If they just said, "Oh, Agent Venom" out of nowhere, like it's just like, what? If Harry just came to help Peter with no build up to that before, it's like, what are we doing here? That would be stupid.
This is like Life is Strange stuff, okay? And if I wanted to play Life is Strange, I would play it, all right? But I don't. I want to play Spider-Man.
I really like that criticism.
If
I wanted blank.
To build a bond with a character that we don't know, in this case Harry, without this mundane and boring gameplay. And it's not even gameplay. I'm just pushing the stick forward. That's it, in many cases. There is nothing there. There's nothing engaging about these sequences.
Yeah,
They've
sure.
got to die. They're destroying PlayStation games. Another bad
Jeez, it's the fastest selling PlayStation
I'm not
game.
going to spoil who, but there are permadeaths in this game. Why? Tell me why. Why would you have permadeaths, especially with the individuals that you have in this game? Why? It makes no sense.
Makes
and I
complete
fear
sense.
for the worst, because what it feels like is that they're trying to slowly switch into another Spider-Man. And I'm like, yo,
They're not.
the only Spider-Man story that we have is really Spider-Man 1, because in Spider-Man 2, it's Spider-Man and friends.
Who do you think he's talking
What are
about?
you talking? He's talking about Miles replacing Peter.
But he's saying that they're permadeaths.
The villains.
Okay, well, he's complaining that Kraven has no purpose, but then he's saying that the villain's dying is bad, but that's literally to drive home how threatening Kraven is.
Well, I understand some people saying, like, I understand some people being mad, like, they think some more of these villains could have had potential before Kraven just killed them off. But, like, Insomniac themselves said, like, Brian Intihar literally said in that one interview, like, yeah, we're never running out of villains. Like, we're gonna be fine. But, like, fucking, what was the other thing you just said?
Sense. And I fear for the worst, because what it feels like is that they're trying to slowly switch into another Spider-Man.
That's not what's
and I'm
gonna
like,
happen.
Yo, the only Spider-Man.
Why would the
that's story
villains
that we
dying
have
lead
is
you to
really
believe that?
Spider-Man 1, because in Spider-Man 2,
What?
Why would the Sinister Six being killed off lead you to believe that they're going to kill Peter?
I don't know. Maybe because they're killing his villain or his most notable villains or some shit. Maybe it's because he's taking a break at the end of the game.
Okay.
Man and Friends. And I'm like,
how is it Spider-Man? Like, what's the problem with Spider-Man having another Spider-Man alongside him? Like, the fuck?
Does he like Spider-Verse?
I don't know.
okay, if that's what you want to do, and I get it, this is Insomniac Spider-Man, their universe, and they can do anything they want with it to an extent, you know, if Marvel allows them and Sony allows them, but it's just like, all right, I guess, I don't know why you would have these characters have permadeaths, because we've only experienced them like, you know, one time. You know, these are characters that can be used again throughout the, you know, throughout future tellings of the story or DLC. It's just like, why are you doing this? The next,
I mean, I get saying they can be used again, but like if they want to do more different characters that aren't the mainstream ones and they want to do their own spin on them, what is the problem?
Also, I mean, they might only have like so many games in mind.
Yeah, I'd imagine Spider-Man. They said Spider-Man like that one quote from Intihar is like, Spider-Man 1 was the Iron Man, Spider-Man 2 is kind of like the Civil War. This next game, it's our end game. Like that was so cool.
Yeah. So we've already fought Shocker and Vulture and Electro. Like, who cares? We've already been there, done that. So it seems like they want to hyper focus in on Goblin and maybe Ott coming back, and that Carnage is also on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'd be more excited for that than like, oh shit, they brought Shocker back. Come on.
This game, which is really bad. I can honestly put this in ugly. Honestly, generally, I may even put this in ugly. I'm not saying in bad, but this is part of the ugly. And the ugly is the symbiote. When I'm talking about the symbiote, you get one main story mission with the symbiote before it's gone. I kid you not. Because
that's just objectively wrong. What?
Steve's about to say it's gonna explode.
Like what? You are blatantly lying. You spend the whole second act of the game with the symbiote. Are you fucking brain dead? Actually, I don't even know why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, you can look up, let's see, Spider-Man 2 long play.
You don't even need to look it up. That's just anybody that's played the game is literally, that they just know that's just objectively wrong. What the fuck?
You get the symbiote at 6 hours into this game, and you use it at like
the Miles and Peter fight.
9 hours on this playthrough. So there's 3 hours out of a 12-hour. So yeah, about the whole second act. Yeah, the symbiote.
Fucking hell.
To believe, and this isn't spoiler, but there is the suit, which they call it the black suit. Now, the black suit isn't the symbiote suit. So you spend this time in the black suit, and then when you finally get the symbiote suit, you have one story mission, and that's it.
That's also not true. Two, it's still the symbiote suit. It doesn't matter what they call it. You still have the symbiote suit on.
You have the black suit on. It does the shit from the books where it's piloting his body as he's asleep. It makes him act out of character and angry, like in pretty much all the iterations since the 90s cartoon. There's a scene where your Peter's going fucking crazy and evil and is, you know, attacking MJ without him knowing it.
He's so fucking dumb.
He goes to fight Kraven in the church, and then the bell affects him, and then he pulls it off. Like, I was also thinking about like Peter had the black suit.
Hold on, someone in my chat said I 100%ed this game in 13 hours. No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up.
He has the black suit, you know, after Secret Wars, and then does he wear it ever again in the books until like recently, like until the like Red Goblin stuff?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
I don't think there's much source material for Black Suit Spider-Man.
Like in terms from the comics.
Yeah, in terms of like, I don't think they really did too much with it. You know, because when they did Back in Black, it was the cloth suit,
Yeah.
and that was just more symbolic of like shit's getting real, and also Spider-Man 3 was out.
Mhm.
But there's not too much. Like, there's only so many moments that you can really tap into. I don't. Otherwise, they would just be making shit up for the sake of it. So I don't know. I don't. It's a weird complaint that there wasn't enough symbiote Spider-Man.
That's all you experience in the symbiote suit. And I'm just like, what WTF? What are you guys doing? Can you tell me what you're doing? Because I have no idea. On top of that...
Can you tell me what you're saying? Because I have no idea. We must have played two completely different games.
Premium Sucks says Ultimate Peter Parker had the symbiote for one night.
That's dead ass. You literally got it, turned into Venom for a second, lost it in like the next 4 pages. Like...
Yeah. So get the shit
Listen
off.
What I'm saying, because I know people are going to say, well, Lucas, you get the superpowers and stuff like that. I get that.
You also get the anti-venom, which has the same shit. It's the same, gameplay-wise, is exactly the same.
Not exactly the same. You get new abilities, but...
Alright, relax, buddy. Like,
yeah.
You know,
yeah, I know what you mean, I know what you mean.
It's during rage mode. That's the only
well, if I wanted anti-venom, I would fucking play Edge of Time.
Hold on.
You get the superpowers and stuff like that. I get that. The only time when the combat switches up is during rage mode. That's the only time it switches up. Everything else is the same. This is
what are you talking
if you're
about?
Going to piggyback off of Web of Shadows' story, then at least piggyback off of what they did good with the symbiote.
They did the symbiote way better in literally every element. So shut the fuck up. Gameplay-wise, it's better. Story-wise, it's better. They did nothing. Web of Shadows literally did nothing better. Maybe he likes Web of Shadows more or better because it's more because it's easier. He's a fucking idiot.
I mean, both games have their own symbiote skill tree. You have symbiote super moves that are functionally different than
Spider-Man
Peter's.
2's combat has more depth, and it also has way better enemy designs. So yeah, but nice argument, dude.
Okay, the fact that I have to do Starfield, okay, and go into a load a title screen or whatever to load up the symbiote suit is unacceptable. Okay?
What?
Load up the symbiote suit.
Is he talking about changing his custom his fucking frame? Oh, dude, what are you I don't even know what he's talking about at this point. Is he mad that you have to go to the fucking menu to change your skin? Like, what?
I'm pretty sure people have. It takes longer to use an elevator in Starfield, fast travel in Spider-Man 2. So I don't know why we're using like I don't know how there could be any comparison. If that's even what he's talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Go into a start menu, into a menu to click the suit, the symbiote suit, and now it get to be the symbiote suit.
You could just never take it off. You just put it on once and like you play the whole game as a symbiote after you get it. Like pretty much. I don't know. Are you just having another aneurysm?
I'm just like.
Homie didn't play Spider-Man 2, he played Speed Nottingham. Yeah,
Speed Nottingham.
All his complaints are coming from. That's fucking funny.
And that's another issue, is that it feels like a cosmetic. It doesn't actually feel like a new, breathing, living character, where it felt like that in Web of Shadows. There are no differences to the idle animations. There are no difference to the combat. There are no differences.
Your fucking dummy abilities were completely different from the fucking Iron Spider abilities. So does the Rage mode.
You're playing as
the finishers are objectively different.
Black suit or even the symbiote suit when you get it. The finishers, every once in a blue moon, you may get a symbiote finisher because all of the finishers are tied to the Rage mode. Outside of Rage mode, it's just a cosmetic. You're just wearing a black suit. And I'm just like, this is not good.
Okay, so you have to build up to get to the Rage mode, just like you have to build up to get to the finishers. Granted, you get the finishers quicker than you get the Rage mode, but you do have different symbiote finishers. Just because, first of all, they have way more animations in this game than they do in Web of Shadows. So, like, I don't see what the issue is that they just don't completely overhaul his animation set when he has the cosmetic suit on. Like, yeah, they didn't do what Web of Shadows did. How do you not comprehend that?
I also like how he's mentioned the idle animations, but I'm pretty sure all Peter does in Web of Shadows when he turns the black suit on is he crouches some like 1% more menacingly.
I don't know. Happy birthday, Painkiller Ziller, however you say your name. Sorry.
But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played Web of Shadows in forever, but I definitely seems like this new one is superior. I don't know.
This is not
I do wish you could throw
way
cars
to
though,
represent the
but it would not make
and
any
it's being
sense.
done 10 times better
No.
in Web of Shadows.
No, it's not.
Next up would be as
10
far as
times
in regards to
of
combat. I mentioned
multiplier.
combat early on, but I'm going to have to mention it again because they have dual takedowns in stealth, but that's not seen in combat. And I'm like, how do you have dual takedowns in stealth, but we don't have dual takedowns in
You do.
combat?
What are you talking about?
You literally do.
He's literally just fucking lying.
It's like he only played the Wraith missions, but did not play
Even
any
if
of
you
the
don't,
Miles
like,
shit.
if you literally run into with Miles, if you
Yeah.
if you do a finisher while you're on the ground, you will get a dual takedown. Even
Yeah,
if,
all throughout at the end with Anti-Venom when he first gets it and you're fighting with Miles.
when you hit a certain,
takedowns.
yeah, when you hit a certain number in the combat or your combo meter, they also do a dual takedown. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, bro.
All of the finishers that you do, you can't do on more than one person.
Okay, first of all, you can there's multiple moves in this game where you can take out multiple enemies. So what the fuck are you talking about? Even if you're not talking about the dual takedowns with with two different characters while you're fighting, you still have multiple moves that you can take. This fucking frame. Oh wait, sorry. Thank you for the $5. Hey Rody, during my gameplay at least, swapping from a cloth suit to the black suit in Spider-Man 2 takes like 3 seconds of black screen, but my PS5 was on for 30 hours.
Jesus, did that shit a break? I got $5 from Cosmic Reader, Colin and Crisis building their own Sinister Six, reacting to vids. Damn, I hope not. I just think it's just a little, you know. I can't speak for Colin, but I'm just disagreeing with these takes.
Yeah, Lucas is already part of my fucking rogues gallery.
I'm not trying to have this guy in my car, you know, telling me I should work certain jobs or not.
And I'm just like, how did they overlook that? I can take down 2 people in stealth, but I can't take down 2 people during combat?
That's
or
just
at least
empirically
with the
false.
Symbiote suit? You're telling me during the symbiote suit, I can't take down 2 people with a finisher? Now I understand you can, you can smash 2 people or more than 2 people. I think it's up to 6.
2 people.
With the web, not the web, with the symbiote power, but that's not a finisher.
You want to you want to take 2 different people out at the same time with one finisher. Yet you complain that you want the games to be harder. Interesting.
Dash them down to the ground.
He wants
the
to
it's a one-hit kill.
One-hit kill
Once
after
their
a
hit is
parry.
over, you do a finisher.
And he wants Peter and Miles to like screen
But
wipe
you
it.
can only do it once. Not once. You can only do it to one person. I'm just like, why can't I do it to 2 people? Why can't I have a 3-hit finisher?
Why can I not have a 3-hit? I'm sure he says. Yo, game of the year? Oh shit.
I'm just like, come on now. Y'all gotta fix that. And I'm sure they'll fix that in the 3rd game. I'm sure they will.
I sure hope they don't.
The next bad is, you know what? It's 2023, okay? The moment in time where I can instantly go to a whole different spot on the map, miles and miles away, in a second, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that we could get a night and day cycle, all right? I think that's possible, okay? I think if we can, web wings and you've enhanced the speed of the web swinging and all that.
I will say...
Fair point. Fair point.
I will say, I mean, like, I don't really care about the night and day cycle when you're free roaming. The reason it's not in the story is because they want the time of day to be coherent with the story.
Yeah.
But what's it called? I will say in Free Roam they could have a night and day cycle, and it's also just an L that you can't change the time of day whenever you want right now. Like, I don't know why the game shipped without having I can't with these fucking frames, dude. Every time you pause this fucking video, it's just but what's it called? Yeah, but I will say, all right, I'm not gonna complain about this point.
I think we could get an actual night and day cycle. The fact that we don't have a night and day cycle, and this is the third game, all right? Because we have Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, and now Spider-Man 2. That is unfreaking
Post-game content is lacking? Like, you mean when you 100% the game?
I mean, I do think that there's some truth to, like, the business model of, like, the DLC. Like, we're just supposed to accept that a big chunk of the game is we're going to have to buy it later. That's not really Spider-Man's fault.
Wait, what?
Like, if the critique is once you beat the game and you beat the story, there isn't too much to do. It's like there's the side quest, which I think that's the appropriate counter argument.
Yeah.
But we're expecting there to be the DLC. There's going to be like a $30 DLC at the end of the day, and I don't know. I do rather wish that stuff was just lumped into the game. I don't like the current standard of just accepting that we're buying a game in multiple purchases, but I'm not even sure that's really the point he's making here.
Someone said day and night cycle update is in December. Did they say that?
Why not ship with it? I don't like. Did the first game eventually get an update to change the time of the day? Manually?
No, yeah, it was there from the beginning. I don't know why it's not there in this game. Yeah, I think the first game it was an update that made it so that you can change it later.
That's what I thought.
But in Miles it shipped with it, so I don't know.
Bizarre.
I feel like they could have learned from Spider-Man Post 1, where I feel like they should be more considering it's a sequel, but that's just me. I know 100%.
You know what? I agree. That shit is garbage.
I mean, when you 100% any game, there's not much else to do. But like in Spider-Man, for example, like I literally have 90 hours pretty much swinging and doing random crimes. I still haven't even 100% of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've beaten the story, and I haven't unlocked all the costumes or like done all the side quests or anything. So
I will also say it's an L that you can't replay the bases like you can in Spider-Man PS4. You can replay the Mysteriums, but you should be able to. They should have made it like there's gonna be an update again. They're gonna update it later where you can replay the bases, but should have shipped with it. And what else was I about to say? I forget. Whatever. The bases are there, but they're just not replayable.
It's unacceptable that we don't have a night and day cycle. And I would add this into the ugly, to be honest with you, because the ugly of this is that we don't even have an option to change the weather. How do we had that option in Spider-Man 1. How do we no longer have that option in Spider-Man 2?
You can't change the weather in Spider-Man 1.
I know I'm not
but
in
you can change the time of day.
Okay, I'm leaking over, but this is ugly. We don't even have that. All right, we don't even have the option to change the weather. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. The next ugly are going to be the side missions. Listen, I don't want to.
Damn, he hated this game.
Anymore. Simple as that. I know they tried to.
Because you said that he doesn't.
Wait, stopping cars is not a side mission. It's literally just open world interactivity. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Get on the car, you press one button, and then that's it. You just watch the animation. I don't want to do that anymore. You got to figure this out.
Okay, then don't do it.
Okay. I know that you've added where you now can swing someone to a hospital. Yeah.
You think Spider-Man 2 is perfect, and Spider-Man, he quits for a bit, so just let that car go.
You failed to do that in this regard, right? I don't understand this. Like, this is unacceptable, okay? This is unacceptable. We still are doing the same dull and mundane side missions. And it's like those crimes.
These aren't side missions.
That's really what makes the replayability, fun.
The crimes are literally updated in this game. They're way better. You have way more interactions with the crimes different factions will pop up out of nowhere at times. Symbiotes will pop, or that's part of the different factions. There's different crimes in this game than there were in the first game, and there's the fact that the factions can sometimes pop up out of nowhere when you're doing the random crimes. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
What makes me want to turn it on, besides obviously the web swing and stuff like that. But if I wanted to have a traversal game, I'd just get a traversal game. But the reason
Bro, what is this level of criticism? I don't understand. You can make that argument about literally everything. If I wanted like I was memeing earlier, but he's actually just running with it.
Like, if I wanted to drive a car in GTA, I would go play Forza. If I wanted
to drive a car in real life.
Yeah, like fucking shut up.
Is that because, I get to fight crime. But if the crime isn't really fun, then it limits my replayability. It limits the value of the game.
I hope you stop playing the fucking game.
Innovate on that regard. They've got to do something with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we get to the ugly. And
did he not like the first game?
You may think there is no ugly.
I think he did. Like the first game.
This game
weird then.
Ugly, all right, and I've talked about the ugly a little bit in the bad. When it comes to the ugly, one thing that I think is honestly, it's telling of the gaming industry.
Oh my God.
John Carver was one of the first pilgrims and the founder of
insane.
John Carver movie, let's go.
What John Carver origin story?
I've looked at countless reviews of this game, and not once, not a single
countless. He's an immortal being. He read.
Did I hear a reviewer tell me this game has bugs? Not once. Everyone was saying this is the greatest Spider-Man game.
Well, there's two bugs on the cover.
It's amazing, yada yada yada. I didn't hear not one reviewer tell me this game has bugs, and I think that is disgusting. I think that's evil. I think that
the bugs in this game.
Evil. It's evil. My God.
The bugs in this game are so fucking few and far between. It's like I don't know where this narrative is coming from.
I crashed one time. I think maybe one guy got stuck under the ground.
Like, I'm sorry, but literally majority of games have little bugs. Like, majority of games that have released in the past, 10 years have little bugs that will happen throughout, in the first month the game's released. That's just, every game should... I believe that every game should ship with no bugs, but... It's just if you're going to say this about everything, if you're going to say this about Spider-Man 2 for the very few and far between bugs that this game offers or has, then it's just what are we doing here? You can say, yeah, I don't like the bugs, but it's just these things are going to be fixed in a couple days and they're nothing. It's not like the game is unplayable. They literally rarely happen.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Spider Cube. Yeah, Spider Cube should still be a thing. That was the best bug.
It'll probably be in the third game somehow.
Yeah. I got Spider Cube on the PC version of the first game.
Oh. Elite crowd.
Wicked. Because you're hyping people up for an experience
Evil and wicked.
That's not the real experience. This game is buggy hell. Okay?
No, it's not.
Come on,
and I'm not talking about because if you've ever done playtesting, you understand there's tiers to the bugs. There are game-breaking bugs which need to be addressed immediately.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
There's less, there's less serious or critical bugs where it's we can still ship with that, right? We can ship with a bug like that. It's not game-breaking. There are game-breaking bugs in this game.
Such as?
Okay? I defy you to play the game without experiencing any bugs. This is beyond unacceptable. I know I've used that word countless times, but it needs to be said. This is a no-no. This is disgusting. This is the first time I've experienced this amount of bugs, such copious bugs in an Insomniac game. I didn't have this in any of the Ratchet and Clank games. I didn't have this in Miles Morales, and I sure as hell didn't have this in Spider-Man 1. I don't know what the hell was going on. Maybe they were rushing this game, which would make sense given the story.
Bugs from people purposely breaking the game. Yeah, did you see that? People purposely going out of their way to bug the game.
No, but I did see a guy, when you hold square and you do the shitty swing?
Yeah.
The swing attack?
Yeah, it's funny because people on Twitter actually believed that.
This is the swing y'all are hyping up? That's fucking funny. But yeah, no, it is sad people believe it.
This is unfreaking acceptable. A whole bunch of bugs where I'm turning into a cube, The game is crashing. There was one point where I got a superpower and it was telling me to hit the button for the superpower. I hit it and nothing happened. The game froze.
Game breaking.
There was
I don't even
so
know what
many
he's
bugs
talking
like
about.
that.
Why is he not showing clips of what he's talking about?
Yeah, he's just he's got 2 cameras running.
Guys, I played God of War Ragnarok and Kratos' body was missing the whole game. Do you believe me yet?
It crashed every fucking time
Yeah.
per square.
Like the spider cube thing is literally just a bug. Like I guess you could consider spider cube a game breaking bug, but like it's so funny. It's an improvement. Fuck it. It's so funny that it's just like, or even when the game crashes, mind you, games shouldn't crash. It's not a good thing. But like the way this game loads so fucking quickly, it's like even some of the thing, even if you ran into the odd, very occasional chance that your game crashes or you get the spider cube glitch, you restart the game, it boots back up in 5 seconds, you forget it happened. It's like
yeah. There is a trade-off. Like, would I rather, and like you said, games should be perfect on release every time. That's obviously the ideal standard.
Mm-hmm.
But would I rather have instant loading, or would I for me, my choice would be rather have the instant loading or it crashes once, because that's the only glitch I encountered really, and it's pretty fucking obvious. Like, it's a easy choice at that rate.
Odd occasion, you crashed 10 times. I said I crashed 10 times within the 90 hours I've played the game. You know how many times Arkham Knight on PC has crashed for me? Yeah. And I've played that game for less hours. Like, even Jedi Survivor, like, that game had crazy performance issues on launch. What's it called? My game crashed multiple times while I was playing that, but I booted back up 5 seconds. I'm just like, alright, cool, whatever.
Yeah, no, they're it's a weird. It is unfortunate that we have to go like, what are the least buggy games that have been released? But I mean, Spider-Man 2 is definitely up there. Like recently, like I don't fucking know, man. Like I'm pretty sure Starfield is like there. I don't know. Most games release in broken fucking states now.
There isn't a single thing that Arkham Knight does better than Spider-Man 2. Stop chatting. Except for stealth. Stealth.
I think the vehicle controls are way better. I think the Batmobile controls are way more than bicycles. That's my argument.
Yeah. Valid.
Dub. All right, this fucking
game glitches where it's during cutscenes and the game like it glitches and I don't get to see the animation. It's like, what the hell? Whole bunch of bugs that are ugly and game breaking, unfreaking acceptable from a first party exclusive AAA game. There's no excuses, bro. No excuses. And for anyone who says, well, it's not that big of a deal.
Y'all in the chat, tell me how many bugs y'all got and how severe they were.
You need to take le coq out of your mouth, because no, this is not excusable. The last ugly.
No one's saying it's excusable. They shouldn't have these things in the game. But again, saying just like it's not that big of a deal. It's like, unless the game is legitimately unplayable, like it's to the point where you literally cannot play the game every time you play it. It's literally like you're gonna have to say this for every game. Pretty much. Because literally pretty much every single game that is released in the past, in the games of gaming history, they will always have small bugs when they first launch. Like, there's just no, like, it literally happens all of the time.
On my list, and that will be Venom. That is correct.
My God.
Hear me out. Venom was freaking amazing. His design was freaking amazing.
Well, this is the ugliest, so what's he gonna say?
Fighting him or whatnot, freaking amazing. I loved everything about Venom. The reason why Venom was ugly is because there was not enough of Venom.
I'll say fair. Venom could have had more development. Still thought he was great in this story, though.
I know they wanted to talk about 19 inches of Venom. Nobody told me there would also be 19 minutes of Venom.
There's
Because
not.
that's what it felt like. You had all this time fleshing out the Lizard. You had Mary Jane missions. You had these backflashes.
In all honesty, I think we could have literally had just, like, a few more scenes with Venom. Nothing like, I don't think we needed to spend, like, a whole nother hour with him or whatever. Just a few more scenes with Venom, I think, to, expand more on his motivation and his hatred for Spider-Man. And, like, Venom's emotional state. Because Venom, obviously.
I also wanted to know why he called himself Venom. Like, I think Craven might, like, Harry might have overheard Craven say it venomous at one time, but, like, why did he say that?
Yeah, man, why, if he wants to heal the world, why is his name Venom, man?
Yeah, come on, bro. Like,
wait, but why, it's also another valid point, you know, why does Venom get big all of a sudden when he gets to Harry? Like, what the hell, man?
Why
Makes
he got
no
teeth
sense.
on him?
Yeah, plot armor, I guess. I don't know.
Plot armor. Why'd they nerf Spider-Man so bad? Make Venom's a threat.
Yeah, why'd they let Mary Jane peg him?
Yeah, come on, bro.
Freaking acceptable. Unacceptable! Why did they have
So you'll show that clip, but you won't show the clip of all these magical bugs.
On PS5, which records literally everything that you do. Like, it's the
He streamed this whole playthrough. He could have literally just went to the clip, screen recorded it real quick, and put it in the video.
Thinking that we were gonna be out in broad daylight fighting Venom in the street, and he was gonna be throwing us against cars.
Bruh.
That is called.
Did you think that in the first
In the
game
Arkham, yeah, like dead ass.
like you'd be fighting them all back to back to back in a goddamn like dream dimension?
If anything, the scene we got in the fucking CGI trailer is worse than what we got in the game. Like, what are you talking? It's like saying, it's like going into Arkham Origins and being like, you know the Deathstroke CGI trailer?
Yeah.
It's like, what are we talking? You say this for every game that has a CGI trailer. What are you talking about?
God, man.
I would say that's called false advertising, or at least at the bare minimum, misleading. Because when we do fight him, none of that happens.
Yeah.
None of it.
No shit.
No, he lifts an entire fucking school, and there's like there's like actual like drama and stakes, and Peter's in like a fucking Super Saiyan form and not just in his base form. Like, it's just way cooler. I don't know. It definitely is better in the game.
Yeah, I think I'm done with this. All right,
so let's tally up between the like probably hour and a half, 2 hours we just spent watching videos. What is the aggregate good criticisms, good points that were made?
The fact that there's no day and night cycle in Free Roam after you beat the game.
Okay.
The fact that you can't change the time of day and the weather. The fact that Venom could have had a little bit more development, but not how Lucas says it, because Lucas is a fucking moron.
Okay.
I don't remember anything else.
What did the first guy say?
Synthetic Man?
Yeah.
I don't remember if he had any valid criticisms.
Okay, well, what have we learned, chat? Have we all grown as people? Probably not. Yeah, then I think I don't know, successful stream. How long we've been going for? Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, okay.
2 hours.
What y'all think about that Fury and Ngannou fight?
Damn, that was a good ass fight. I can't lie.
That was shocking.
Dude, he should have won that. I don't know how they didn't make him win that. Like, he was literally whooping dude's ass at towards the back half of the fight.
Yeah, I haven't watched much boxing, so I'm not sure how differently it's judged compared to UFC. But Ngannou definitely more obviously impressive. Like, if you don't know the minutia,
yeah,
if there is any, he knocked him down and cut him. Like,
well, Tyson Fury also elbowed them, which should have deducted points.
They definitely should have mentioned that. I didn't stick around the press conference or whatever happened after, but he threw an elbow. But then Ngannou towards the end definitely threw a fucking Superman punch that would have killed.
Are you allowed to?
Tyson
I think
Fury.
you're allowed to do that. Superman.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to lift your feet off the thing. I think that's the line. You're not allowed to like come off the ground. I don't know if Mike Tyson told him some shit like, "Listen, dog."
Well,
falls,
the dude.
fails, just say, "Fuck it."
Apparently the dude Ngannou said that he told the announcers or whatever that he was gonna do that.
He told him he was gonna throw a Superman punch.
Yeah.
Okay. They just said, "Go for it." We'll just deduct points. Like, what? Weird. Would Kraven with Venom symbiote solo the verse minus Sandman?
Probably.
If he's definitely if he's just as cunning.
I'd say I'd say he'd beat Sandman. Like, yeah, I think even regular Venom might probably beat Sandman.
That definitely is those are the two top dogs. I mean, I think it's just because the website talks about how the water like weakens his composition, so it's possible that they like softened him up ahead of time with the water and then kind of had used the laser to finish him off. That's my thing. It's very specific how Sandman lives. I don't know how many characters could like replicate that. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously it's possible. Like, Venom fucking goes to the place and gets the super collider and makes a laser or some bullshit, but it doesn't seem as likely to me. As Sandman just like fucking him up.
I mean, if Venom. Are we talking Venom with the symbiote spread infestation or just Venom?
Oh, well, peak hypothetical Venom would shit on everybody. Like, if he fucking...
Yeah. I mean, like, I'd imagine if he had electricity and he'd probably be able to fucking... Like, what if Venom just symbiotifies fucking Sandman and takes over his mind? Like, because you know they had concept... I'd imagine they had...
Yeah. They had the concept, I'm not sure, with shit like that. Why did they cut it? Like, maybe they thought that was implausible, or they didn't want to explain.
No, they said the reason was because they were just like, we already had a hard enough time making Sandman that took up a lot of budget and stuff.
Yeah, so it's just it's like I said, the Sandman's victory seemed very, very circumstantial, and I don't find it as likely that someone else would hodgepodge like a fucking Miles level laser beam.
I just want to know how Peter beat him in the first game.
Yeah, people were commenting that I think he just never became giant. Did you see Brian Intihar talk about how he just got out of the vial?
Yeah,
he was in it at some point.
I was like, dude, wait, what? No, I think the way he said it, he was just like, dude, I honestly don't care. We got him out, or we put him in the story. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, maybe, but
I think he was kind of just playing with the question, to be honest.
That's all that we have to go off of. I mean,
yeah.
Peter was acting like that was Sandman. I don't know why he would only put a little bit of him on the fucking tower or like in a jar to keep.
Well, for like scientific, maybe he wanted to study his composition or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It just based on the first game, it seems like that's the fucking guy. And then Intihar says he got out. My only point of bringing that up is it doesn't seem like, based on that Peter fought like giant Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he ever got that big in the past.
What you got? Some kind of spider sense or something? It's funny you should say that. Fucking.
Where's that from?
Spectacular.
Funny you should say that. Oh, okay, yeah. I need to rewatch Spectacular.
Spectacular is heat.
I rewatched it probably a few years ago, but
I rewatched it like last year.
I see. But yeah, I think good stream. Thanks for all the donos, and I will see you all next time.
Yep. I will ditto that statement, chat. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, I'm about to end my stream.
Okay, I'm off.